Just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up!
Hello, Uncle John. Hello, Uncle John. Uncle John is funny.
Wake up, wake up, wake up! That's right, Uncle John is funny. All right, Caden and Haku said it, so it has to be true. Good morning. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. On this show, we talk about fitness-related content from a home gym perspective, and we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community, and we have a lot of fun along the way. I am John Greaves III. I'm the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. If this is your first time checking out this show, I promise you, you are in for a good time today. So let me tell you what's on today's show. In the first hour at 6:05 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll have news and other things. And at 6:45 a.m., we'll have a brand new Recliner of Rage where I'll tell you why I am mad again this week. Let's see. In the second hour at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Central, we'll add our friends from LinkedIn as personal trainer Letha Cannon joins the show to talk about her home gym, her training business, and maybe we'll be able to help Letha pick out a treadmill for her home workout space. Then in the third hour at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, which will be 6 a.m. Mountain Time, Harrison Lands, Home Gym Harry himself, will come out of the live chat to talk to us about home gym equipment, and we're going to also unpack what it was like for him to run the first ever Curltember event last month. So now you know what's going on. Go ahead, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't done so. If you have liked the video and you have subscribed, take a second and share this link with someone else who you know will enjoy watching the show. But normally this is where I say, let's go jump and go see who's in the live chat. But I can't do that because first I have to say hello to two special guests who are calling into the show all the way from Japan. So let's go ahead and add Caden and Haku to the stage. What's up? Oh, Kevin's here too. Sorry. Hey, Caden. Hey, Caden. Hey, Haku. How you doing?
How are you?
You good? How are you? Hey.
Good.
You guys are funny. You're funny.
What do you want to tell Uncle John?
He's like, nothing. I don't tell him. Thank
Present.
you. Are you having dinner?
You having dinner? What are you eating?
I'm eating dinner.
Yo, wow. Did you save some for me? Where's mine? No, nothing for me. Oh my goodness. Nothing for me. Nothing for me. Oh man.
Christmas present, please.
Oh, wow.
I like it. Well, thank you so much. You guys make me smile every time I see your videos that your dad sends me. So thank you so much for the encouragement. And I love your laugh, man. I love your laugh so much. You guys have a good dinner. Enjoy your dinner, and you guys have a good night, okay?
Okay. Hey,
all right. Bye. Thanks, Kevin. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Later. All right. Now, it's going to be hard for you guys in the live chat to top that, but just do the best you can, okay? So let's go ahead. And like I said, I told everybody who's watching us, I told you you're going to enjoy and that you should hit the like button and hit subscribe. Where else are you going to see something like that? The answer is nowhere. Now, let's go see who's in the live chat. First up in the building was technically Coach Carp, because Carp, I saw had he posted in the live chat last night at 10 p.m. He posted yep. Okay. And as you know, you can't have a video if you don't have a yep from Carp. That's just the way it is. Okay. But YouTube normally gets rid of those comments. So the first official recorded comment is my guy Carlos, CBS TCR. He said, now the weekend can officially begin. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You know the deal, man. You know the story. What's up? My guy Trevor was next in the building, got in here at 5:51 a.m. Says, let's go. Letha Cannon is here, which is good because we're going to see her in the next hour. She says, wake up, people. Good morning from Alabama. What's up? Anan is here, 6 a.m. sharp on the dot. Very punctual. I appreciate that. ready to go. Carlos, that's right. Uncle John is funny. I'm telling you, I get these videos from them, and that's my first time ever actually talking to Caden and Haku, and those two are just awesome. They're my every time I feel so. Like this past week was kind of like it wasn't bad. It was just like a blah week, right? And then Kevin sent me that video saying, "Hey, this video where it says, hey, Uncle John." I was just like, "Oh man, that's it." I couldn't stop smiling. My face started hurting. I was smiling so much. Those two are awesome. JBTV is here. He says, good morning. Good morning. What's up, man? That's right. Good advice, Carlos. Share this with somebody you love and share it with somebody you hate. Tell them somebody else is having more fun than you. That's what I like. That's what I'm saying. All 367 of you, go share this. I need to get these numbers up. So I need all 367 of you who are watching right now to go share the video with somebody. Let somebody know. Let's see here. My guy, Eric Echoes. What's up, man? We can officially begin now that Eric is here. Eric doesn't like it if we start without him. I apologize if we ever start without you, Eric. That's my guy. Eric is my industry insider. He knows stuff he shouldn't know. Okay, he knows stuff he should not know. Eric has I feel like he got listening devices in every brand manufacturer's office because he knows stuff he should not know. Letha, Carlos, I'm telling you, when I saw it and I told Kevin, I said, hey, let's go ahead and let's just do something a little bit different. So first I was just going to put them in the intro, but then he was like, he said that he would be home. And I said, well, can they come on the show? He said, yeah, man, that's all you had to say. That put a battery in my back. I'm going to have a battery in my back all day. I'm just going to tell you that now. Look how much I'm smiling. Carlos, it put a smile on my face. You see it. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, that's true. Carp is not here. So I told you the first official comment is Carlos's because Carlos is here. I remember the rules. We set rules. Says you can go and put comments on the show the night before all you want, but you got to be present at the time your comment is read for it to count. I understand it. I get it. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all. You understood the assignment. Look at that. We went from 362 to 742 just like that. Let's keep that going. Let's keep that energy going. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, JB and Kevin are friends now. I love that. He says, good evening to my new friend, Kevin. We met through this show. We now follow each other's channels. I was telling Carp that on the phone yesterday. That's one of the reasons why I love the show. It's one of the purposes for the show. It's not just to give you something to do, like in terms of something to watch, but I want you guys to interact with each other in the live chat so that you're building relationships with each other and then you can carry those relationships, those friendships offline and, train together or whatever, like you're building. So I'm trying to build a community, you know what I'm saying? And then you guys see each other at home gym con, and it's like you've known each other your whole lives. That to me is part of what winning is, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I want. Hey, Big Kev in the live chat said, what up, fam? We love the show and the people in this community, of course. Carlos said, I almost like Kevin's kids better than I do my own. That's funny. That's funnier than that hat you wear during your live streams, Carlos. That's funny right there. I like that. That's a win. No, I have not heard about Gordon. Man, get on him. Tell him if he wants to be on the show. I want him to be on the show. So let's make it happen. That's right. You just got to tell him. Get the word out there. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay. So now, let's go here. All right. So now we've got that. We figured out who's in the live chat. We've checked in with Kevin, Caden, and Haku in Japan. So now, if you still haven't done it, here's one more chance. Go ahead. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. If you also would like to support the channel by becoming a channel member and getting access to our members-only video content, which includes video unboxings, things like that, as well as some other content that only members get to see, then you can do that for just 99 cents a month. And it's the link to do that is in the video description, or you can just click the join button to support the channel. And we appreciate all of your support. Hey, there Carp is. What's up, Carp? Carp's a channel member. What's up, my man? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here, Carp. And he can, oh wait, no, Carp's not a channel member. Carp, you gotta come on, man. He's like, He said, what are you talking about? I want you 99 cents. 99 cents a month. Carp, I need you. You got to be a channel member. Come on, man. Carlos is a channel member. He says, wake up, wake up, wake up. So Carlos can tell you he's got access to all of the video content. Trevor's a channel member. JB's a channel member. You guys let people know what the value is of being channel members so you guys can see all of the content that we got in there. Hey, my guy, Dennis Solis. I know you're not waking up early. That means the fact that you up at this time of the night, because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning where you are, this means you haven't been to sleep yet. Dennis, I don't know if it's the new baby. It's not, I guess it's not a new baby anymore, but still, I don't know if it's the baby keeping you up or not, but I'm glad you're here, my man. Appreciate you being here, Dennis. What's up, dude? All right. So now that we have done, checked off the first items, we've said hello to everybody. We've been polite. It is now time to dive into news and other things. All right, first news item. We told you last week that we got the Gazelle in and we hadn't put it together yet. We have now put it together, and Naomi is loving the Fit Gazelle. Here is a short clip of her using it that we posted on YouTube this week. It was a YouTube short, so now you guys get to see the landscape version. It's like it's not a cropped version of the video, so you guys can check it out right here. All right, there's truth to the rumor that I use those little breaks like that to mix up my shake. But anyway, so we have she's used it a couple times since we put it together, because we did that on Sunday, and she's loving it so far. I don't know. I'm trying to think when she's going to get the actual review done. Probably, because we have something else that we're shooting this weekend. She'll probably get the review, the first impressions review, done by next weekend. So not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So you guys can expect that, okay? You guys can just kind of put it on your calendar. We'll have that out soon for you. All right. I thought you, so I know you're a channel member, Carp. The reason why I said I thought you weren't is because so I'm looking at you through the StreamYard interface, and it's got like a little thing next to everybody's name who's a channel member. So let me look on YouTube. Yeah, it puts a little thing next to your name if you are a channel member. So look at look at Carlos's name, and it shows he's a channel member because he's got like a little badge next to it, right? So I'm not doubting you. I'm just telling you that the thing didn't pop up. And so it may be that I don't know. You might not have renewed for this month yet. I don't know. But I know you. I mean, like I said, I know you support the channel. So I was just like, oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna believe you. I don't care what the screen says. I'm gonna believe you instead of the screen. How about that? What in the world? Jonathan said I stopped watching a Diablo 3 Soul Shard tutorial to watch and hit the subscribe button. That's a lot. That's definitely some choices right there. I appreciate you. I'm gonna do another choice. I'm turning the AC on because it's hot in here. Turn this down. Yeah, I need that to give me life. I got all that dancing. I ain't young enough to dance without sweating anymore. By the way, Jonathan, I'm gonna shoot you a text later on about YouTube, about a collab thing. All right, I'm gonna shoot you a text later on today. Let's see here. Did we get the pink leopard plates? No, we did not. We got the patriotic plates, Dennis, and we've got the we had the just the plain pink plates. I don't. We were supposed to get them, get the leopard plates, but then we end up getting the patriotic plates. So we might end up getting the pink leopard plates as well. But here's the thing, man. It's like we have to figure out what to do with all these bumper plates because we're running out of room on Naomi's bumper plate tree. So we're having to kind of like figure out what we want, you know, because we don't want to end up with plates all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we've seen them. We like them. We didn't get them. We got the patriotic plates instead. Carp said, yeah, I had an earlier model. They updated. The range of motion is better now. So we used an earlier version. I think she used the basic leg press, the BLP, when we were in Chino Hills. And that's what made Naomi want to get the Gazelle. And the Gazelle, one of the things we're going to talk about is how she likes the Gazelle compared to the BLP-01. I'm not even looking at that, Eric. I'm not even pulling it up because I don't want any smoke with Carp. I love being in the front in the FOC. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. So my wife just sent me a text. She said channel membership is now $1.49 a month. So that's a YouTube thing. I did not increase that. Okay. I'm going to go back in there. If I can bring it back down to 99 cents a month, I'll do that because I like the whole $12 a year thing. But that is not me. That may just be inflation. Anyway, I'm telling you. Yeah. Hey, Carp said, Google, gift that man his money because y'all taking it. Look, I'm saying, help me out. Let's see here. Dude, yeah. Hey, about to be Grace Jones up in here. Pull up to my bumper. Ain't nobody pulling up to my bumper, by the way. Pause. But I'm just saying we got a lot of bumper plates now. Ashley, the amazing 332. What's up? What's up, Ashley? I need to send you a text just like I need to send Jonathan a text about collaborations. I'm gonna go ahead and send that to you. Because I need to make sure that I send that to you. So I just made a note to myself, Ashley. So watch out for a text from me later on today. Okay. Michael Brantley, what's up? Superstar himself. What's up, my man? Let's see here. And Letha says being a part of the community is well worth $1.49. Everyone needs to join. Hey, I think it's worth it. If because I kind of know like what we have in there as far as the members only videos. And honestly, if somebody was giving all that content from another channel and there's only like $1.50 a month, I'd jump all over it. Okay. JB, you said I should feature Carp on Recliner of Rage. Heck, I just talked to him yesterday. He didn't say anything about it. Carp, you welcome to come on to you welcome to come on Recliner of Rage. Anytime any of y'all need to crash out, you're welcome. Let's see here. And okay. All right. So now back to the news. So anyway, so Naomi really likes the Gazelle. She's enjoying it. She's using it. She does legs a few times a week. So She doesn't use it for every leg workout, but she really is enjoying it. One thing that we had to do is, so you guys saw the plate storage on the bottom. Let's see here. Hang on. Let's go ahead. All right, we don't need. All right, I don't need the music anymore. So let me pause it right there. So you guys see that's actually where the load bearing plates are put. Okay, that's not storage. The actual storage is in the back. Let me see if you guys can see it from here. And I can't look on the website because it's not on there yet. Okay, boom. All right, so right there. So that's plate storage right there. And then there's another weight horn that goes, so looking back from Naomi's right shoulder, you see the horn. It's going inboard. That's plate storage. And then there's another optional set of weight horns that goes straight back. It's longer, and that's where you would put like 45s. I think that that shorter one, you could probably maybe put like one plate, maybe 2 plates on there. Excuse me. But the longer one, you could put about 345 plates on it. And we had to take both of them off because this thing is 82 inches. So you see how far into the room it comes. We had to move some stuff around. We still need to move some stuff around. And we're going to have to get rid of our Yosuda elliptical because it takes up way too much room. Like I can't move the treadmill out in front of the TV anymore so I can watch TV when I am using the treadmill. So we're going to have to move the Yosuda elliptical from next to the treadmill. If you guys look over by the garage door, we're going to have to move the Yosuda elliptical from over there. That's a better shot right there. You see the dehumidifier. Then right behind that is Naomi's Spedients, Velonix, and then next to it is the treadmill. Then next to that is the elliptical. Elliptical is going to have to go because I can't see the TV from that angle, and I also don't use the treadmill with my back to the door. So we're going to have to move the Yosuda out of there. We probably end up getting rid of it, probably end up selling it. But that's just, it was worth more to us to have the Gazelle than it was to have an elliptical and a treadmill. You know what I'm saying? It's just choices you got to make. All right, so let me go ahead and remove that. So Carp said he's talking about my rep yoke. They told me I need to angle grinds down the weld. They told you that you need to grind down the welds that are too big so the crossbar will fit where it's supposed to go because the hitch pins won't go in to lock it in. I don't understand how that's your problem. You're not the one that makes the yoke. That's something that it sounds like they should have fixed at the factory. You know, I hadn't been the biggest fan of Rep Fitness in quite some time, so that doesn't help. Carp, you could come on Recliner of Rage right now if you want. I promise you right now, you can come on and go off right this minute. I will send you the link and you can come on and go off briefly. I can, because what I'm mad about, I'll still be mad about next week. If you want to come on right now and just go off briefly, my man, you're welcome to come on right now, okay? Because that would irritate me. The plate storage horn. Well, that's the thing, Dennis. We have enough plate storage for the bumpers we have. It's just a matter of if we take that plate horn and turn it so that it's outboard, then it's going to get in the way of loading plates on the bar for bench pressing from the power rack, because there's really not that much room between the leg press hack squat and the power rack. So the bar, if you're squatting or benching, there's just enough room for somebody to walk between it, but not a whole. And to be honest with you, all of my friends couldn't fit through there. I know some big people. I know some large human beings. I know some super heavyweight powerlifting competitors, all right, and strongman competitors. Some of them could not fit through there. They just had to describe what they want to you. Say, hey man, can you get that for me? Because there ain't no way they're getting through there. All right. Nah, my rage has no limit. So is that? Hang on. Text me if you want to come on the show. If you want to come on the show, Carp, or you can just say, yeah, you want to come on. Let me send the. I'll text it. I'm not gonna text it. I'm gonna email it to you right now. It's the kind of show that you're watching right now. Normally this does not happen, okay? But Eric Carpenter. So there you go. If you want to come on today, I just sent you the link. just come on. So you know it's like at 6:45. So we got about 35. No, we got about 20 minutes before we do that segment. So if you want to come on, come on. I just sent you the email. All right. All right. So anyway, yeah. All right. Savage kettlebells. I don't know about this one, man. So I got an email from Fringe Sport. I say it like it was just me. I can't stand it when people do that. Like basically all you did was like sign up for the newsletter and you act like they sent you a personal email. So I'm gonna share my screen because I saw this email and this is really all the information I have about the Savage kettlebells. Eric probably knows all about it, but you guys can see that. So the Savage kettlebells are dropping tomorrow. Well, I got this email yesterday. So why is it still so hot in here? Okay. So the Savage kettlebells are supposed to be dropping today. They said they re-injured the kettlebell from the ground up. I did see Peter Keller's PK's video, but I was not about to play that here. He got very 70s. He was in his Magnum PI vibe. And if you haven't seen it, you want to know what I'm talking about, just go look at the Fringe Sport Instagram and you'll see exactly what I mean. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not playing that on here. But the Savage kettlebells are dropping today at some point. What's got me intrigued about them is says it's virgin rubber technology. So I'm wondering if they've done the same thing with them that they did with the dumbbells. So are these like basically rubber all the way through, or is it just rubber coated? It does say soft touch forearm protection. But I think one of the things that people complain about with kettlebells is when they do like a kettlebell clean or something, the kettlebell flops onto their forearm and it hurts. So you got companies that make like a kettlebell guard or whatever. I think you should just learn how to do the clean correctly so then your forearm doesn't hurt. Because if you do it right, it doesn't hurt. But whatever. So they've redesigned the kettlebell somehow to give you a little bit more forearm protection. And they've got the ergonomically contoured handle right there for 1 or 2 hand work, which is basically most kettlebells that are well designed. But I'm thinking that the handle is going to probably feel better as far as texture goes. If you do, if you've ever done like high rep swings, it'll chew your hand up just like doing a lot of deadlifts, a lot of cleans with a bar will. And so, and even some mace work will chew your hands up if you do very high rep mace work, which is why I don't understand people that have maces with the handle with knurling on it. I'm like, you hate yourself. There's no way I'm doing that to me. But I'm hoping that that's something that they have addressed with the coating that's on these kettlebells. See here. Eric said, I know Peter needed to put some clothes on. Dude, you know what I'm talking about, all right? I told you he was straight Magnum PI. And I'm talking about the OG Tom Selleck Magnum PI. That's all I'm saying, all right? That's all I'm saying. Just a lot happened in that one video. The pool is there. He's next to the pool. It's just, I wasn't prepared. They put a warning label on the video, and I still wasn't ready. And that's the one time I should have listened to the warning on the video and been like, yeah, I don't need to watch this. But I was stubborn and I paid for it. Learn from my mistakes, kids. All right. So the reason why I showed you guys that is because those were not on the Savage kettlebells from Fringe Sport were not on the website when I checked at 5 a.m. this morning. So I'm assuming at some point today, maybe 11 o'clock or something like that, they'll come out. They'll probably shoot you a text, Eric, to let you know. And then they'll let the rest of us know because Eric always knows stuff before everybody else. All right. Now, let's see. I don't think, let me just, that's the wrong button. I don't think that there's anything I'm missing from this. So but before I say that, let me make sure. Because I've been known to make mistakes. I've made my mistakes. All right, so there's one community post. It looks like Carp got his patriotic bumpers. Got the package. Look like it's taped up really, really well. That's the one community post that's here. So I'll just go ahead and I'll share that with you guys. So this is landed in the borough. I think you've already used them before, Carp. But if this is your, I mean, I know you probably opened it up by now, but you can see if you haven't, when you do open them, you see how much better they are than the old ones. As you said, they took the feedback from everybody and they improved them. So that's a really good thing. We really like them. And in fact, our plan is to do our review of the patriotic bar and plates this weekend. That's what we're gonna. JB said we need to make sure our wives and girlfriends are not around whenever we watch Fringe promo videos. We need to not watch Fringe promo videos. Like, I ain't trying to see it. All right, there's a little bit. There was too much chest hair in that video. I wasn't prepared. All right. He's Star Trek. He boldly went where few have gone before. Let's just say that in the equipment industry. But hey, I can't knock the hustle, man, because I'll never forget that video as hard as I try, and I'm going to try. All right, I can't remember because things were so up and down last week. Did I talk about, somebody tell me in the chat, did I talk about Peloton and hotels? Did I talk about that? Because I don't want to talk about it again if I did. This was on the rundown. If you guys don't know, if none of y'all has, whoa, I am not. If I have already talked about Peloton and apartments, then sure, then I'm not gonna talk about it again. So somebody let me know if I have talked about Peloton and apartments. I know, and if I have not, then I'll come back to that story. I know I have not talked about this, and since we have some personal trainers in the chat right now, I'm going to go ahead and cover this right now. So if any of you guys want the link to watch this, I'm sorry, not watch this, but to read this, this is a personal trainer specific article that I found interesting. And let me go ahead and post it right here. I just posted a link in the live stream right there, so you guys can check it out after the show's over. But basically, according to Athletech News, recovery is the next frontier if you're a personal trainer, right? So they basically said wellness space brands is equipping trainers. So that's something that they're doing for public gyms. But the reason why I thought it was interesting for my audience of home gym based trainers is the public gyms are part of your competition, right? So people already go to public gyms because, they want that community connection. They may not feel like they've got enough room at their house, but there are some people who go to the gym because they want to get training or they want amenities, right? So like, for example, we don't want to have a pool at our house. Naomi is training to get back into triathlons. So she's going to have to get a membership somewhere that has a pool. All right. So in my opinion, you need to make sure that you're not left behind because this is a trend that is happening, right? So the trend is basically that people are more and more into recovery, and most public gyms apparently offer some version of it. I remember my uncle took us to, he's a member at One Life Fitness, and he took us to the location in DC, and then his twin brother is a member at the location in Rockville, Maryland. And interestingly enough, I think their fitness director has a home gym, so he follows me on Instagram. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, I went to One Life Fitness, and they have an entire room. Here, I'll show you guys here. And I forgot to do this when I did my first screen share of the day. I apologize. First screen share of the day. Right. All right. Okay. Thank you. But so let me go ahead and I'll screen share that really quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's so they have a room, and they've got massage chairs. They've got I'm not sure how I feel about this, but they've got those, those Hyper Ice Normatec boots you can put on, the compression boots. They've got some of those in there, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about putting on some boots after somebody else sweaty feet been in there, but whatever. They've got massage guns in that room. They've got a few other things, right? And I was like, how you got to have all this stuff, but they didn't have chalk. They didn't have liquid chalk for me to use. So I was a little disgruntled at the time anyway. But the point is, I guess their thought process is you can bring your own liquid chalk to the gym. But we're going to give you something that you can't bring with you, which is your Normatec booth, so you can recover right after your workout, right? So imagine you have a workout, and then before you go back to work, you can use the compression and then go back. Or let's say you just had a tough day at work. You're like, man, I'm going to head on over to the gym and get a quick compression set. It's basically like getting a massage, right? Go in there, relax for about 20 minutes, go back to work feeling better. All right, so how does that relate to you guys? I don't think a lot of times when you have your clients, you're training them in your home, and you may not necessarily want to, they may not be interested in setting up their own gyms at home, but they're going to be looking to you if you're their coach, their trainer, for advice on stuff that they can use to improve their recovery in between sessions. And I hear too many people who are strength coaches, trainers, whatever, who talk about, oh, that stuff doesn't work. Massage guns don't work. Red light therapy doesn't work. I mean, I hear it. You don't need a sauna. And I'm like, instead of doing that, recommend stuff to them that does work. Say, okay, hey, this massage gun, I use it. That to me is the biggest value if you're a coach or trainer at home, of doing reviews of products like massage guns, right? Because you can then recommend it to your clients. Say, hey, this isn't going to be too expensive. You can use your HSA funds at the end of the year on this stuff. Go ahead, get it. And then you can have, you still come over here and work out. But then when you get home, let's say you're not coming over tomorrow, you do a quick recovery session at the house, or this evening you do a recovery session, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So just educate yourselves about what's out there. Pick out some modalities that you can recommend to your clients, and that's going to put you ahead of the game in their eyes. That's just something that is my advice. There we go. So yeah, Trevor said, I've thought about joining Planet Fitness just for the massage chairs and recovery stuff. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not interested in joining a facility for that. I did think about like the sauna thing, but we got a sauna here now. And I would say like a pair of Normatec boots. You don't have to, if you don't want to buy like the full Normatec boots, you get the, especially in your situation, Trevor, you ought to be able to get it. But if you don't want to get the full boots, you can always get like the Normatec Go, or you can get, something like that. Little things like that help a lot. And I think that that's a great way, if you are a coach or a personal trainer, to add value to your members. Angel Lopez, what's up? Hey, man, my wife was just talking about, last Sunday, she was just talking about your pizza. And she said, you know what I'm craving? That pizza from Angel Lopez and his wife make, that they made out in California. I said, Simpler Pizza? She's like, yeah. I said, yeah, that stuff was good. So you got a pizza snob, a dedicated lifelong pizza snob, to crave y'all's pizza a month or so after we, like 2 months now after we had it in California. So well done. JB said, I've got the Hyper Ice Normatex. My feet sweat in them whenever I do like 30 minutes. No thanks for public use. That's what I'm saying. I'm just not doing it. I ain't about to do it. No. Let's see here. Dennis said, yes, bring the value. Angel, yeah, man, I'm telling you, that's it. I'm telling you, it's a bigger achievement than you know. All right. Carlos said, I would join a gym for the leg press. So, we got time for a quick leg press story. I am not a fan of leg presses personally. I understand why Naomi likes them, and I understand why people like them, but I've got some mental scar tissue from it. So I remember I was working at the public gym, and I remember we were talking, and I was talking to this other guy, and I heard, turn around and there's a person pinned under the leg press. All right, because he has stacked tons of plates on the leg press and he couldn't get out. And he came down with it and he couldn't push it up enough. He couldn't even push it up far enough to be able to put the safety stops in place, right? And I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, well, you just gotta make sure you don't overload it. Okay, I hear what you're telling me, and I'm telling you the bench press is the only thing that I can feel comfortable lying down under to without a way to easily get out. Okay. I've got PTSD from that situation because I remember how long it took. We had to have like 4 or 5 of us had to hold the leg press up while we were unloading it, right? So there's like 2 of us holding it up, and then 2 other guys had to unload the leg press enough so that we could get him out of there. He wasn't seriously hurt, but I'm just not about to do that to myself. So yeah, I'm not doing that. Let's see. JB said I did a trainer once because they were doing recovery stuff. Massage guns, assistance with stretching, pre and post session, depending on what was planned. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like if you are a trainer. In fact, we'll talk about this with Letha when she comes on. If you're a trainer, you need to learn how to add value if you are training at home in a way that's easy for you to do. And if I just give you a recommendation for a massage gun, you could do that at the house on your own. It doesn't even take any extra time out of my day. You know what I mean? But now I just added value to you, right? Dustin said, what's up, man? He said, morning. So some gyms are building out wellness and recovery lounges. Some have oxygen bars and IV stations with electrolytes and vitamins. Again, this is all stuff that you could recommend to people at home to do at home. Maybe not an oxygen bar, but definitely electrolytes, things like that they can do at the house, right? Because you got to think about it, the gyms have it set up the way they do because of convenience. So like, you're not at home, so we're going to set it up so it's quick and easy. But if you're at home, it's not very difficult to make this stuff for you, like liquid IV for yourself or whatever in the convenience of your house. And now you don't have to go anywhere when you're done using it. You can just chill out. So there we go. So that's just like not bench pressing because you almost decapitated yourself. Actually, no, it's not. That's just like not doing an exercise that I can get better results out of doing a different exercise because I can get better results out of doing a different exercise, right? Yeah, it's a whole lot easier to bail out of a squat than it is to get out of a leg press. And I've got another story that I'm not going to tell on air. It has nothing to, well, it's not me, but it's someone else I know. But like I said, they actually did get hurt using a leg press. And again, I'm like, nah. So no. But I will say it's like not bench pressing with the Smith machine because you've seen what it does to people over time. So I'll say that. All right. We got 2 minutes. There's something. So PRX Performance sent me some videos because they've got this stuff on sale that's coming out, right? It's the PRX Performance Build Limitless Wall-Mounted Functional Trainer. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this. But before I do, Justin and TK over at PRX sent me some videos to some clips. They may be posting these on Instagram later today, but they sent me these clips so that I could play it today so that you guys could check it out. So here we go. This is the Build Limitless. This is the wall-mounted functional trainer. No, first, this is just the functional trainer. This is not wall-mounted. So check it out.
Is the ultimate foundation for you to build your home gym around. It's a half rack and a plate stack cable system combined into one. Strong, smart, and space saving. This is the Build Limitless Functional Trainer. With dual swiveling pulleys, a 2-to-1 pull ratio, and dual 250-pound weight stacks, this setup is ready for all of your training sessions. Perfect for functional fitness, bodybuilding, or that quick sweat session between meetings. The Build Limitless Functional Trainer comes in half rack and 6-post options. It's engineered to grow with you by giving you the ability to add multiple attachments, creating a full home gym ecosystem. This is the Build Limitless Functional Trainer, built for strength, fit for life.
try that again. So that was the Build Limitless Functional Trainer. First of all, Cutie Pie, thank you for checking in, watching part of the show, and I hope you have a good day at work. Hope you come back and check out the replay. Shout out to the replay gang. Appreciate you being here. All right. See. Okay. So what I just showed you was the Build Limitless Functional Trainer. If you, like me, you don't want to bolt it down. Well, what they're coming out with now, though, is a wall-mounted version of this. So check this out.
Using the Build Limitless wall-mounted functional trainer, the newest wall-mounted addition to our space-saving lineup. While this functional trainer does not fold, it does pack a big punch in a very small footprint. Featuring dual 250-pound weight stacks with a 2-to-1 ratio, sturdy trolleys to make every adjustment feel precise, and a unique crossmember design that is adjustable for those that may have concrete lips in your space. All our premium rack attachments can be quickly installed for added versatility and integration while you're training. Pre-order your Build Limitless wall-mounted functional trainer today so you too can be built for strength and fit for life.
All right, so that is something that I think is really potentially impactful because of the space-saving nature of it. It's up against the wall, right? But then when Justin and I were texting back and forth yesterday afternoon, he said, where we at here? Okay, yeah. He said the biggest focus or differentiator is that it's got adjustable depth to accommodate garage lips on the foundations or thick trim. He said this is a beast, and when it's paired with the Access Pad ecosystem, we think it's the best out there. And he closed his comment with, "I'm putting one in my gym at home." So obviously, to me, it's I mean, it looks nice, but for me, it's I immediately messaged Trevor like, "Hey, this thing is potentially an answer. It's yet another potential solution for your problem," because you guys remember that Trevor was trying to find a solution for his small space, right? Carlos, the sound should be back on. You can hear, right? You guys can hear me, right? I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me now. So somebody let me know if you can't hear me, then also let me know that as well. But anyway, okay. For me, it's all about having your options. And I think that the more we have stuff like, you know, the low profile, what do you call it? Hold up. Okay, thank you. My wife just said that she can hear me. Thank you. All right. And Carlos said my mic sounds nice. All right, perfect. Thank you. So a lot of us, a lot of you guys have like small, very, very small setups, very small spaces. And that's why I think things like this Build Limitless trainer can come in clutch, because you see how close it is to the wall. It's not gonna come out really far. At the same time, if you have an apartment, you might not be able to bolt into the wall. That's why I like
Is the ultimate foundation.
That's why
for
I like
you.
this. That's why I like the functional trainer. This version of the Build Limitless functional trainer that doesn't have to be bolted into the wall. It's still got a it's very shallow, so it's got a very small footprint. So those two things to me make it worth your while. Now, I said I was going to show you guys the link. So it is available for pre-order right now. So let's go ahead and throw that on here. This is what it retails for. So we wrap up real quick. So it's $35.99. That is and it is available for pre-order. It's going to be shipping in mid-December. And it's available in 7 colors. So this is the wall-mounted version. And then, like I said, they've also got another version that is not wall-mounted. So if you guys, are interested in this, make sure you guys kind of like start setting aside your coins so you can place an order for it and see if it's a good fit for you. Or to be honest with you, you might want to just hit them up because, you can contact PRX, schedule a consult, and just tell them what your situation is, explain your floor space, heck, go through budget or whatever, and they can help you guys out with that. I don't have any promo codes, any affiliate links, you know, all that stuff. And this is a very good question from Anand. Says, I worry about it tipping. That's something that I would talk about in the consult. Say, hey, how do I stop this thing from tipping if I'm using it? Because you see that he's using it. So he's, you know, he's obviously pulling on it, right? He's doing pull-ups on it. So my question is, you know, obviously, and even here he's sitting down doing pull downs. I would assume that they use it for squats, but yeah, I'm like, you know, how do we stop this? How do you stop this thing from tipping? I mean, he's got the feet right there, but I'm not. Is that enough to stop it from tipping? I don't know. So that, I guess that will be one of the questions that I would ask, because that is a really good question on worrying about it tipping without it being wall mounted. And Trevor said it looks good, but it's too tall for his garage. Well, that'd be something else I would ask. Hey, does this come in any other heights, or is it just that one height upright? So yeah, that's why my recommendation is hit him up. I'm also gonna have Justin is gonna be on here on Black Friday, so that will be something that you guys. So put a pin in that, because that's something that you guys can ask him when he's on the show on Black Friday. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead, remove that. Now, let's go ahead and I have not forgotten. It is time for Recliner of Rage. Let's pull it up. Everybody ready? Let's crash out.
It's the Recliner of Rage. It's the Recliner of Rage. 'Cause he's not happy.
All right, so my Recliner of Rage is multifaceted today, okay? I'm angry about a lot of things about the same topic. So first, I'm going to play this video that Kevin, from friend of the show, Kevin from Japan, sent me. And this is a clip from a larger interview from Basement Bodybuilding, okay? Here we go. I'm going to play the clip.
People get way too fixated on the variables before they focus on training. Same goes for a lot of home gym guys. They obsessed over building a home gym, and half the guys that are doing a home gym tour on YouTube don't even look like they lift.
Yeah, I think that's a really good.
First of all, I appreciate how my man has developed his physique, but I frown on people showing up on a show. I don't care if it's a fitness show or not, in a tank top, because I'm not interested in seeing your armpit hairs during your interview. Okay, let's just start there. But let's slide that to the side. Okay. I don't want anybody to take from that I'm not saying that my man has developed his physique and he ought to be proud of it. I'm just saying dress like that elsewhere. I'm not trying to see your armpits while you're doing an interview. That being said, I don't like, and I get that there's a certain element of YouTube where people go out of their way to be negative about other people, right? So I don't like that. I don't like when you go out of your way to knock somebody else's hustle. Okay? You're like, all right, half these home gym guys don't even look like they lift. Okay. And you know what? That's 100% correct. And that's the other side of what I'm upset about. We, and I'm including myself in it, need to look like the stuff that we do works, because part of the reason why our family and friends don't want to take care of their health is because they look at us and they say, well, you spend all this time doing this stuff, you spend all this money buying all this stuff, and you still look like 200 pounds of chewed bubble gum, right? So I'm like, first, you like to say, physician, heal yourself. All right, before I get into all this, I want my family and friends to be healthy. I want them to prioritize health, all that. They don't have to be into it as much as I do. I need to turn around and look at myself and say, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Are you following the nutrition habits? Are you putting the time in the gym? Are you putting the time in the cardio? Are you doing just the stuff that you like doing? Or are you doing the stuff that you need to do? Okay. So don't take anything that I'm about to say as me saying that we shouldn't work on improving our physiques. If year after year, your gym looks better than you, you're doing it wrong. Let's just say that. And that doesn't mean I don't want your gym to look good. I'm just saying if you start out now, your gym doesn't look good, and in 5 years your gym still looks better than you did it wrong, and you need to get your life together. That's just advice from Grandpa, okay? Because I'm older than most of you watching. All right, that's part of it. But at the same time, let's slide over here and let's say, why would you go out of your way? Why would you go out of your way? The point that he was making about putting things in order in terms of priorities didn't need to take a shot at the home gym content creators in order to be made. You can very easily, if you got good command of the English language, you can say, hey, if you're training, you need to make sure that you put your priorities in order, and you don't need to obsess over minutia when you don't have the basic stuff down pat first. All right? I know because I just did it. I just said it, right? I literally just said what he should have said. Instead, he took time to take a shot at these other people. So I'll tell you like this. Since we're going to do this, all right, I'm going to play his little clip again, and just check this out.
People get way too fixated on the variables before they focus on training. Same goes for a lot of home gym guys. They obsess over building a home gym, and half the guys that are doing a home gym tour on YouTube don't even look like they lift.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Okay, why does your screen, if you're going to be a professional creating content, why does your screen look like you shot it with an iPhone 1? Well, let's talk about that. Why does your microphone sound like you got a wet sock over it? All right. Why does your lighting look like hot garbage mixed with mayonnaise? Okay. I'm just telling you that their thing, if you don't want to be a professional, fine, but don't waste my time. Don't try to get clicks and likes and reactions from people based off of knocking somebody else's hustle. JP Finley, Washington Commanders football reporter, always says this thing. He says, don't yuck another man's yum. Don't yuck another man's yum. Basically, you don't have to pull somebody else down to move yourself up. All right? Because in the long run, you're not going to get the success you're looking for by knocking other people down. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, to be honest with you. And if anybody knows him and feels like telling him that I said it, you go ahead and tell him I said it. You can do better, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself, and you should do better. The point you're making didn't have to knock somebody else down in order to be made. Get your life right and fix your camera. It's ridiculous. All right. Not a Nokia phone. Come on, Carlos. I at least said an iPhone 1. Carlos, that's hateful. That's hateful. Why's it got to be a Nokia phone, Carlos? I feel like you crossed the line, Carlos. Man, hey, look, I'm sorry. Anybody says I just don't like seeing people's underarms when I'm doing a show. All right, if I'm doing a profession, like I got you on camera, I don't need to be seeing your underarms. All right, now we got to be professional because we're about to add LinkedIn. All right, everybody look like we do this for real. All right, let's go ahead and add LinkedIn real quick. All right, it is now 6:58, so we'll go ahead and we'll say shout out to the Central Time Zone and welcome to everyone who just joined us from LinkedIn. Please take a minute to like this video and hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on LinkedIn, do me a favor and follow our show page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life, so that you don't miss a single one of our posts, and so you can comment and interact with us, as well as if you're a brand and would you like to come on this show to interact with our audience of home gym owners from around the world, then that's the easiest way to get in touch with me if you're a business, so we can facilitate that and help tell your story to your potential customers. All right. But my first guest today is personal trainer Letha Cannon. Letha is the owner operator of Balance and Grace Coaching, which is a home-based workout service that she runs in her home gym. That's hence home-based. Anyway, we met Letha at the RitFit 10th anniversary celebration in California earlier this year, and she's fast becoming one of our favorite people because of her positive attitude and her enthusiasm for helping others succeed. So, Letha, you ready? She says she's ready. Let's bring Letha on. Let's give her a warm welcome. at you. Showed up dressed for work, no tank top. That's what I'm talking about.
No tank top.
That's what I'm saying. I just can't stand. Anyway.
Now, if I was working out, I would most likely have on a tank top, but not all.
I don't have a problem with that. I got no problem with that. I have no problem with people wearing tank tops to work out. First of all, you're at your house. You can wear what you want. I'm just saying, when someone comes on a show to pass along information and present themselves as a professional who I should listen to, I need you, just like, okay, here's an example. I don't care if an airline pilot wears tank tops in his personal life, but when I get on the plane, I don't want the pilot who's flying the plane I'm on to have on flip-flops and a tank top. Okay? I want you to look focused. All right? And slightly uncomfortable, because I don't want you falling asleep in the cockpit. So I just need you to be focused, slightly uncomfortable, because now you're motivated to get us to our destination quickly. All right? That's just how I think. Call it old school if you want, but that's how I think. So Letha, let's start out with treadmills, because you mentioned in the live chat a few weeks ago and that you were looking for a treadmill. Is that the new one?
No, it's the same one that I've had for years.
So that's the same one. All right.
Yes.
So that's the original one that your husband built that work desk for, right?
So yes, and actually it's been very reliable for years. My aunt had it for probably 4 or 5 years before she gave it to me, and I've had it for at least 4 or 5 years as well. So it's been very reliable. And for me, it's just the fact that it takes up so much space. The treadmill in itself still works fine, but I know that ultimately I need to look at the efficiency of the space. And so I would like to figure out if there's an option to do something that's a little smaller footprint, but also gives me the same advantages that this treadmill does.
Okay, so you're looking. So do you have now that's obviously motorized? Do you prefer motorized, or do you like manual treadmills, or does it depend on what you're going to be using it for? Because it's for you and your clients.
It is for me and my clients. So I definitely prefer motorized because I would like to have the ease of just putting it on a setting. If I'm switching in between clients, quickly, I want to be able to set the incline or set the speed. I don't use the treadmill a lot for clients, but I do for some. And sometimes I have more than one person in here training. So maybe we're strength training with one client while the other's getting in some cardio. So I want to be able to change those settings and go right back so that we're also using the best amount of time for each client that we can, making sure that we're efficient in what we're doing. So I just want to be able to change those settings and go right back.
Gotcha.
Manual is not a bad thing at all, but I just don't think that that's best practice for what I need it for.
So you made me think of the reason why I looked like why I started laughing is because you made me remember. So when I was kickboxing, we had a guy who was training for an MMA fight, and he fought in Pride FC. So he came to the gym and he stayed with our coach for a while. Anyway, so he said he had just finished training with the guy who was world champion at the time, Maurice Smith. And he said, this guy thinks he said, man, the guy thought I was a horse. He said, because what they would do is he put you on the treadmill, because most of us are used to doing our road work outside, right? You just go, hence road work, right? You go run outside, maybe run hills or whatever, right? But Maurice Smith apparently liked to put you on the treadmill because he said when you're outside, you get tired, you can slow down. So he set the treadmill and he's standing right next to you. First of all, there ain't nothing worse than somebody with a whistle standing right next to you, running the treadmill. They're comfortable and you're running your guts out, right? And so he said basically at intervals, he said, okay, now you're doing a flurry, and he speeded up and he's just running, gasping for air. He said, okay, now you get on your bicycle, you kind of just move it around, recover, and he slow it down a little bit. So he did manually controlled intervals that had nothing to do with how much energy the guy on the fighter on the treadmill had. But he's just like, my goal is for you to get off the treadmill, because also they're trying to make weight. So he's like, I'm just going to just destroy you with this thing. And so when you said, that you like the motorized so you can set it, I just pictured you there dressed like Mickey from Rocky, like with zero mercy for you, like zero mercy for the client. I'm like, oh, poor people. Run, tell others.
I'm not that hardcore just yet. Maybe one day, but right now we're giving a lot of grace and just trying to start out slowly.
Okay. So you have some fans in the chat. First of all, there's Trevor, said War Eagle Letha.
Hey, Trevor, War Eagle.
Okay, there we go. I'm gonna say I don't understand that what y'all just said.
Hey, we
Okay.
can say go Bulldogs too. We can say go Bulldogs. I don't have a problem with that.
There you go. I appreciate that. Carp said Roll Tide. I don't know why we're talking about detergent right now, but whatever. Kinsey said she also does what you do. Says
Hey,
good
Kinsey, good morning.
My question is, before we jump into the thing, what did you think of what I was saying earlier about the recommending? Because I know that you do stretching with your clients, but I mean, as far as recommending products that they can get for their home to kind of help with recovery, do you ever recommend stuff like that?
So I do. We do a lot of stretching in the gym. One of my main focuses is flexibility and mobility. I work with a lot of women that are in that perimenopause, moving into menopause stage. And so we do a lot of resistance training prior to adding strength training. And so stretching is very important. We talk about using stretching straps. We talk about making sure that the recovery is what it needs to be. So also making sure that we're staying hydrated, that we're adding in those electrolytes, that we're using those resistance bands even at home. So initially, and I think that's what you're asking. If not, let me know and I'll go into
Yeah. So I'll give you an example from personal experience. When I was competing in powerlifting, I started having aches and pains. My elbows specifically, every time I was squat, my elbows were on fire. Right. And I didn't know why it was happening. And my coach at the time just said, oh, well, that happens when you start adding more weight to the bar. And he told me I needed to buy some elbow sleeves. Well, okay, that's not the actual answer. Years later, I now know that the problem was that my bench press was also going up. I was benching a lot more often because I was competing, and my shoulders were rounding in. So my shoulders are like this, and I'm trying to get under the bar, and the torque that should have come from my shoulders was now being passed onto my elbows. So that's why they were hurting. So once I got my shoulders opening, my chest open again, which, by the way, did not cause my bench press to go down. I got my shoulders back open again. I stopped having the elbow pain. So I didn't need to waste money on elbow sleeves, but a good massage gun to open this up and maybe some resistance bands or some voodoo floss bands would have been a good purchase, along with teach me how. That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that because there's so much information out there. The client's going to look at you and say, I don't know, do I need this? Do I not need this? What am I doing here? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean.
Yes. So my husband and I go for massages every 2 weeks. It stays on our schedule. It's very routine. So that's one thing that I always suggest if that's something that someone can add in. Obviously, budget is always a concern there. Sure. But I had a client just a couple of weeks ago that said, she sent me a text message and she said, I've done something to my elbow. I think maybe it's my carpal tunnel. I'm not sure. So I sent her over just some exercises, with wrist flexion and different things. And she sent back later, you're a genius. And really, I'm not a genius at all. I just know that just because your elbow hurts, it may not be your elbow pain. Exactly. And so a lot of times I have issues. I've had shoulder surgery previously. So like my rib heads will hurt. I feel like I have these big knots in my ribs or rib head, my shoulder area. Right. And sometimes that comes from pec and chest muscles. It's not even, it's where your muscles here are tight and they're pulling them forward. So you have to know a little bit of knowledge about that, or a lot of knowledge, to be able to also understand that what they're saying hurts may not be exactly where the pain arises from. Exactly. So yes. So obviously I'm still learning as well, and I'm open to any suggestions from anyone else. I don't feel like I have all of the answers, but I'll definitely go to the ends of the earth to figure out the answers for a client that needs some assistance. So,
I mean, I just think that sometimes when somebody's focused with their let's say you don't necessarily have like a YouTube channel or anything like that, that doesn't mean to me that you shouldn't accept when companies want to send you stuff, because they send it to you and then that's basically educating you. Is one less tool that you don't have to buy. It's one of the things I used to get out of going to stuff like the Perform Better Summit. You go to these things, everybody's going to try to show you their product, right? Mm-hmm. And they're going to try to educate you about it. Well, then when you come back, you can say, oh, well, that's how I found out about the tib trainer, which was then called the DARD. It's got it stands for the super long thing, which basically means it's the tib trainer, right? That was like in 1997. And I came back and I was like, we need to buy one of these for the gym. And a lot of the people who started using it started saying, you know what, my knee pain is going away. Well, it wasn't very expensive. And I go back to, again, somebody comes to you to get in shape. To me, it's like they're looking at you as the subject matter expert. And it's not fair for them to think you know everything. but I do think that it's incentive to look up stuff and find out as much as you can about it, because then you can recommend stuff that they can have to kind of have at home to support what you guys do together. You know what I mean? That's just what I was thinking. So you're normally training clients while the show is on. What time is your earliest client, and how late do you normally train people?
Okay, so I knew this was a question you were going to ask, and you've always joked around with me about having a client training while we're watching you, which the TV's right above me, so I'm trying to watch my computer screen and not the TV because I can see that on as well.
Yeah, don't look up there. Don't look up there right now.
I'm trying not to. So my earliest client is 3:45 a.m. And so a busy working mom who needed to get some self-care and some me time in before her husband had to leave to go to work. And so for me, initially, I was a bit hesitant because I was like, I know I have to have my quality sleep and the amount of sleep that I need in order to be better for everyone else. But at the same time, when I would go train outside of my home gym, my typical time was 4 to 4:30ish. That's when I love to be at the gym. And so we had a little back and forth discussion, and I just said, if you're willing to commit at least for 8 weeks, then I'll give this a go. And she's been a rock star. She's been amazing. So 3:45, and then I have 5 a.m. clients. I take some time out, get my child up for school, get him off to school, come back, and start again 7:30 to 8. And so as of right now, the latest client is 2 to 3. I don't typically train past 3 p.m. He does ride the bus. Thanks, Kenzie. He does ride the bus home from school. He gets here at like 3:05, and I like to be just mom in the afternoons. Right. There are some ladies that I know that's difficult with a work schedule. And so once we move into getting our next round of ball schedules, I'm willing to add in some afternoon times, or maybe an hour or two here or there on the weekend. But ultimately, the shift in professions for me and the career change was to come home and be more of a mom and a wife. And so ultimately, the daytime while my son's at school is when I focus on training.
So okay, we're gonna skip ahead in the questions I sent you, because you just said 3:45 in the morning with a straight face. Isn't your bedroom on the other side of the gym?
It is. So I have French doors.
So what time does your husband wake up?
Usually right at 6. So he sleeps through the 3:45 client and the 5 to 6 client and is unbothered. I mean, we've used battle ropes in here. We beat the heck out of this floor.
That dude's having nightmares of war.
He sleeps like a grizzly bear. It doesn't bother him.
He's having war flashbacks. He said, we got to take that hill. I don't know what's going on. That's hilarious.
I've even been very intentional about adding in like the battle ropes at the end of the 5 to 6 workout in the morning or whatever to try to not wake him up. But he's like, I don't hear it. It's fine.
So so you said the French doors. Well, originally when he built that, that was like, I think it's really cool that he built that for you. That, in fact, let me enlarge this right here so everybody can see it. So this space right there, your husband built as a surprise for you when you were on a trip with, I think, your mom and your sister or something like that.
My mom and both of my girls, yes. Okay,
your mom and your daughters. All right, so then you come back and this space is there, and there was a curtain at the time. Okay, there was just a little, not a drop cloth, but it was just a curtain separating the bedroom from the gym. And I got to say that I think that those French doors were one of your biggest home gym upgrades, because I can't imagine. I mean, never mind him hearing it. What if he rolls over, starts snoring right in the middle of y'all working out?
So the French doors have always been there. So it was a sunroom. So they opened up from the bedroom to the sunroom. I do have black curtains hanging in front of them. Just because the aesthetic of the room was black and red initially. We did, I don't know if you noticed, but we painted all of the windowsills black. Yeah. And he put sheetrock in the windows and we painted that black just to kind of change the aesthetic. But the French doors have always been there. I just had the curtains hanging. And obviously
I was horrified when I heard when I said curtains. I said, what's the husband going through? I felt for him. Okay. All right. He's a trooper.
He's a trooper.
So I was talking about you got that as a gift from him, but then you got a leg extension for Mother's Day too. How cool is it that that's like what you get? You get exercise equipment as gifts now instead of like stuff that you can't use. I think that's the most awesome thing.
I was stoked to have someone say, I know how important this is to you, or here's a gift that you can have that's for you to become a better you, to take some time to focus on you. Because ultimately at that time I wasn't training. I was still working in a full-time profession elsewhere. I had seen the leg curl and extension machine, and he knew I had my eyes on it, and he said, "Order it. Here's my card. Happy Mother's Day."
That's awesome.
And the day it came in, I was like, "Can you go put that together now?" So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I'll take any of the exercise equipment I can get as gifts. So.
That is so cool. That's so cool.
And now
so
we're paying that forward, so it's not just for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of your business. So yeah, so that's good. When it comes to buying equipment, because I know, like, I want you to tell the story about how you got out to RitFit, because I think it's a really cool story. But when it comes to just buying equipment, especially like even with the treadmill, how does buying equipment for your home gym different for you now? Because it is something that you're doing not just for yourself, but for clients. Like, what are some of in terms of like your criteria when you say, okay, this is something I will put in my home gym or in my home business?
Initially, I would say that for me, I was just looking for something that I liked, that was aesthetically pleasing to me, that looked like something I had used in the corporate gym before, or something that I knew that I would enjoy working out with. And so now that I'm looking for equipment to work along with my clients as well, it's very important to me to look for a small footprint, because I want to have the most use of this space that I possibly can. Although Jeremy's already talking about possibly putting in a door and adding on, and so I won't argue that. But I look at a smaller footprint. I also look at the durability, the quality, the efficiency, the versatility. I look at the reviews. I look to see how others are feeling about using this product and how it compares to a corporate gym world, but why it's also most effective in a smaller gym. So I do look at things a little differently. And even if it's something I know I would enjoy, I stop and say, like, how am I going to use this to build up my clientele, or how is this going to produce better return on investment for all the clients that I'm working with, not just myself in general, because I do have a wide range of clients from different ages, different ability levels. And so I do look at a variety of different things now versus just, hey, that looks pretty cool, I'd like to have that in the home gym.
You train males and females, right?
I will train males and females. I only have one male that I've actually even talked to about training. Primarily, I train females. And not that I'm opposed to training males at any level, but a lot of times women come to me and they have struggled with a previous male trainer, or they're feeling like immediately they go into it and they're expected to lift heavy. And so that's just kind of the dynamic of women that I have appealed to, I guess I would say, but I'm obviously not opposed to training in general.
So the reason why I asked that is because we run into this, and you met my wife, Naomi. So you actually got to see this in person, by how we look at things. Because remember when we were at RitFit, she was looking at stuff that I didn't even glance at. And she looked at, and I looked at things that she was like, okay, that's nice. Right. Because, and it's not on the surface, it looks like, oh, well, guys and girls, men and women just kind of like different things. But again, you're buying for your client. So I might want, let's say, a barbell that has a lot of knurling. The knurling is very aggressive because I want to have that contact with the bar. I want to have that nervous system activation from having a lot of aggressive knurling. My wife has zero interest in having aggressive knurling, especially when it comes to like a squat bar, because let's say she's doing front squats, right? And then you've got aggressive knurling in that centerpiece right there. Now it's just going to be like right here. If she wears the wrong, something that's, because I mean, she's at work and she might be on a Zoom call at work, and now she's got this giant red barcode right here on her clavicle. She's like, I'm not interested in that, right? So that's what I mean. It's kind of like when you're looking at how to buy stuff, you're like, okay, will this work for everybody, not just me? Do you try to get your husband to kind of check it out too? Because you say he's got calluses on his hands, does a lot of manual labor. Do you try to get him to look at it? Also say, hey, well, what do you think about this just from a man's perspective?
So he's not much of a gym junkie. He does manual hardcore labor all day, every day. He works physically all day, every day. So when I was initially looking at purchasing a Smith machine, I originally just had a squat rack in here, and I was not comfortable lifting heavier with just a freestanding bar because I didn't have anyone to spot, no extra support.
Oh yeah.
So I asked him, like, can I try to sell that and purchase a Smith machine? And immediately, of course, he said, yes, whatever you want to do. So when I was looking for that Smith machine, I actually kind of I did consult with my son. He's a strength and conditioning coach.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Little plug here. He's the youngest full-time strength and conditioning coach in the state of Alabama. So I'm quite proud of that.
How's this team doing? I know I completely cut you off, but how's this team doing?
They're improving every day.
Okay, good.
We'll go with that.
Yeah,
we'll
that's all you can ask. That's nice. Okay.
They're making strides, and we're proud of that. So I consulted with him. I sent him a variety of different Smith machines, and ultimately I was looking on Amazon, and I said, how do you feel about this? What's going to be best for the gym? And he helped me pick out the RitFit M1. And then he obviously didn't have a whole lot of faith in it until he came home and saw it for himself. And one of his buddies were here, and they came in, they were like, oh, this is nice. And immediately started working out. So I do consult with him. I sent him a text message a couple weeks ago and said, hey, I want the leg press and I want the adduction machine. But like, if I can only do one, ultimately I know how I feel about it, but what's your thoughts on it? And so I do consult with him back and forth a good bit. And Jeremy
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about your son being in the industry. So that's basically what I was getting, is like, how do you get like a different perspective? Because, and this is no shade at RitFit or any other company, but they're going to sell you. They're there to sell you stuff, right? And they also don't know your clients. You do. So it's like, how do you do your clients give you feedback on the equipment? Or are they just so destroyed after you're done with your merciless? I'm just kidding.
No, they do. And actually, so my clients do give me a lot of feedback. Most of them have corporate gym memberships and just have not been going to the corporate gym. Either they're intimidated or they don't have time or they don't have someone to work out with. So my goal ultimately as their trainer is to give them the tools that they need so that once they're comfortable, they're confident, and they're ready, they can move into that corporate gym world because they're already paying that membership. Not that I'll ever want to have a client just walk away, but it's my goal, just like in education, to give them the tools they need to be successful.
I love that.
And so I do ask quite often, how do you feel about this? We talk about where you're at on the scale of 1 to 10, how you're feeling in terms of pain, and if this is, you can lift heavier, do you have anything else left in the tank, kind of thing. It's not necessarily how many reps we're going to do or how much weight we're going to pull today. It's how are you feeling today? Let's go based on that. What's working for you versus what's working for other clients, because each person's individualized. So I do ask for a lot of feedback. I have a couple of clients that have worked out with me a little longer than some of the others. And so obviously I typically send them messages and say, hey, let's get together on this, or how do you feel about this? And so having feedback from them is more important to me even than like a review on the website from the company or Amazon or wherever.
Nice. Okay. So I want to let's talk about your business. So I was talking to a company yesterday, and they were talking about AI security cameras, and just as they were going through their presentation, I started thinking about home-based coaches and stuff. And I'm always amazed whenever somebody has a home gym and they use it to coach clients, or they use it like some people will rent out their gym when they're not using it, so you can just come in there. And I'm always amazed when I talk to somebody like that and they don't have cameras, because I'm like, well, what are you going to do if somebody gets hurt? How do you prove that it's not your fault? What happens if somebody gets, I don't know, mugged, or, God forbid, or anything like that? Like, I'm always amazed by that, but it's not something that you think about when you go get your personal training certification. They don't say, oh yeah, you need to make sure if you're going to be training at home, you're going to need to make sure you got security software or whatever, right? At least I know they didn't talk about it when I went to do my personal training certs in the 90s. What are some other unexpected expenses that you've had to kind of deal with since you put your home gym to use as a business, as a place of business?
So I think that ultimately initially we already had cameras, because Jeremy is a tech junkie. He's not a gym junkie, but he is a tech junkie. So we already had a camera here in the sunroom. And as far as overall expenses, I would say that the biggest change for us was number one, making sure that we were properly insured to run a business out of our home, making sure that our liability is covered, because although you fully trust all your clients and hope they trust you, you also never know where something could go wrong. So having that legal paperwork up front and a signed contract, taking care of the liability of that, making sure that we're doing a health questionnaire and making sure that we're on the same page. But initially when I opened the gym, I mean, obviously I didn't build this space to be a business from the word go. And so the only entrance to the gym is here in the door to the side of me, but that's off of our back porch. So I was bringing clients through the front door of the house, through the living room and the kitchen, and out the screened-in porch over to this door. And so maybe 3-4 weeks ago, Jeremy said, I'm going to take care of that this weekend. And in my mind, I'm always like, whatever. Like, he's always got a plan and he makes it happen and he executes beautifully, and I don't ever question it. So he took the fence line outside and moved the fence line back. And we do have dogs outside. And so that was, that's another thing. You don't want your dogs jumping up on people when they're coming in to train. And so he fixed the fence line, moved it back, added a little gravel drive parking area so clients could pull up right to the fence line for the most part, and added a gate that swings one direction when I want to leave the dogs in the big fence in the backyard. And then also I can close them off so they can't get to the gym area. And so something like that. We added lighting. We've closed in the windows, and I mean, this was a sunroom, but clearly you don't see any sun anymore. Instead of the curtains that we had on the windows, he put the sheetrock in. We painted it black to match the aesthetic of the room. Just last weekend, he added completely new gym flooring, and it's very nice, actual gym flooring, as opposed to what we had in here, which was kind of peel and stick previously. So we have made some upgrades in terms of additional equipment. I've continued to purchase equipment. The lighting, we did not have gas. We did not have heating or air in this room initially because it was just sunroom. And so it was an addition to the home, and it was previously built on. And so we used a wall heater, and then we used like a portable air conditioner. And we did add a mini split unit so that we could, comfortably heat and cool without having to change the settings quite often. And that for me was a game changer. Because I wasn't having to come in 30 to 45 minutes early just to make sure that the tent was where it needed to be. And I can change that setting as clients are in here. So just little things like that. He's added more electrical outlets for some of the equipment, moved things to different places. Overall, I would just say it's what we wanted to do to make this space better and to make it more of ease to the clients.
Gotcha. So let's go ahead. I'm going to jump into the chat, see if you have any questions for you. Amanda Roberts says 3:45. Wow, I'm good to get there by 9. She said, you're awesome. Laura B said, we love a supportive husband. And Kinsey agrees. She says, my gym is built for my clients and not me. I completely understand that. My guy Dustin said, diamonds used to be the best friend, and now it's gym equipment. And
that's funny. Okay, so Dustin, first of all, you're amazing. I keep up with you and Ashley as well. But you guys may know this or may not, John. I may be kind of outing you a little bit, but John sent over some questions that he thought we might talk about today. And I have to put it out on paper. So I typed up my answers to those questions just so that I could kind of run through them in my mind. I guess that's the interviewer in me, like from years of interviewing other people. And so I actually put in there, Dustin, like most girls want diamonds and designer handbags, but I've never been most girls. And I'm kind of with Kinsey on that same page. I watched the episode of you and Kinsey talking about equipment, for females and better range of motion and different things that fit a female body or female physique. I'm 5 foot tall. So range of motion matters to me, and I'm waiting on the new leg press. I will have that in my gym because it does have a better range of motion. But you're right, Dustin. I'm not big on diamonds or designer handbags. Like, give me some gym equipment and a way to help me better serve others, and we're game on.
Heck yeah. What's up, Jared? He says, good morning. Joey Echeverria is here from the West Coast, getting up way too early. What's up, man? Kinsey said, I had to build a fence to split my yard in half too. That way clients can come and go without my Great Pyrenees saying hi. She's not nice to strangers. Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? I'll tell you who to be nice to. All right. Yeah, the default setting, especially since now I have a daughter, my default setting is we're not nice to strangers. Default setting. Let's see. Jamie said, I love your gym. And we got greetings from the UK. What's up, Matt? He says, sorry I'm late. Work is crazy busy. Hello, USA. What's up, man? What's up, Matt? So let's see. Let's go. This is a good time to talk about how we met you. So we met you at the RitFit grand opening. And one of the things I can say about the buy-in, because you're part of the RitFit Facebook group. One of the things I can say about the buy-in is that the people who were there from the RitFit Facebook group, you couldn't tell the difference between you guys and the people who were being paid to be there, the employees, because you guys you bought into it, right? And I was struck by your enthusiasm. And so Naomi and I, just kind of inside baseball, we knew we were there to cover the event. So we're like, all right, well, who do we want to talk to? There were a lot of people in the place, and we didn't talk to everybody. Instead, we looked for people who had, like what the kids nowadays say, like their energy. We're looking for that energy that we liked. We're like, not just that you're having a good time, but also that it's just basically the vibe. You know what I mean? Like I said, okay, yeah, let's talk to her. So Naomi went over to talk to you, and you told us a story of how you got out there. So for people who didn't get to hear that, we're actually going to post our interview with you on LinkedIn. So those of you who follow our LinkedIn page, you're going to see that this coming week, our interview with Kinsey. I'm sorry, not Kinsey, with Letha. But for those who have not heard how you got out to RitFit grand opening, go ahead and tell them that story.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a lengthy story, but I'll make it as short as possible. So I purchased the M1 from Amazon in March. I never even knew at that point in time, or didn't know at that time, that RitFit was its own brand and that I could be a part of something bigger than that. I was just looking for a Smith machine that fit the aesthetic of my home gym. And so almost immediately joined the Get Fit with RitFit group on Facebook and started asking some questions. Obviously, I have lots of questions. I'm a female and I overthink everything. So we'll just put that out there up front. And so Matt has been amazing in helping me answer any of those questions. And so I kind of got to know him a little through that Get Fit with RitFit group. And he posted something about the home gym conference coming up. And I was stoked. I was like, I want to go to that. I want to go to that. Little me, small town girl from Alabama who's got just a minimal home gym over here. I wanted to go to the home gym conference so bad, but the timing was just not great. I was working a full-time job. My son was in sports. It was crazy busy. So I came home from work one day and my husband knew, like mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted. I was about to my limit. Being in leadership's hard and sometimes it just gets heavy. And so I kind of just collapsed on the bed and he said, book a room. We're going to Louisville. And I looked and I was like, what? He said, we're going to Louisville. So I booked a room and Matt had posted in the Get Fit with RitFit group, like, who's going to Home Gym Con? And finally I could say, like, I'm going, I'll see you there. And I don't know that I slept from I think that was Monday of the week that we were leaving. He said, book a room. I don't know that I slept. I was kind of just on cloud nine. And so prior to Home Gym, I get an email from RitFit asking, hey, we saw that you're going to be there. Would you be willing to help us work our booth?
Oh, sweet.
Like me? Are you for real? Like little hometown girl from Alabama? And so obviously I said yes. And the whole way there, like imposter syndrome ate me alive. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know anything about the equipment. I do. And I do have a knowledge of equipment. But again, that was a little intimidating.
Right.
So I got there, met up with the RitFit family. It was literally like a family reunion from day one. Like jumped in, they welcomed me to the booth. I started hanging out. Matt was amazing. He helped walk me through a lot of the other equipment that was there that I didn't have in my gym. And so I got to see Home Gym Con for the first time through a different lens. Now, while I was there, Jeremy kind of walked around and got a vibe from the whole thing. Let me also say I already have rooms reserved for this year because I will be there.
There you go. There you go. Jake is watching, so he's happy about that.
I'll be there, Jake. I'm coming to see you. And so I guess that was just a moment for me. Like, this is what I want to be a part of. And so I had some time there to talk to the owner of the company and the ladies that were all there that had flown in from another country. And so in talking to him, I realized that his leadership style was a lot like what mine was in education. Okay. And I'm very driven by servant leadership and listened to him. And so we just had a lot of conversation. Flew back home, stayed on cloud nine, immediately was like, this is what I want to do. What they didn't know until right when I got there is that I'd already submitted a letter of resignation. I didn't really know what my plan was. I had no idea. but I submitted a letter of resignation the week before we went to home gym. And so I did talk to Mr. Lynn a little bit about, like this is something I think I want to do. Ultimately, I'd like to do this full time, but I'm not really sure how to even get into this.
Mm-hmm.
Prior had been a group fitness trainer. It's a little different than
You're doing TRX stuff, right?
Yes. So I was certified in TRX in 2019 and was working with a friend who owned a studio just about 25 minutes down the road.
Shout out to Drench.
Right. Shout out to the Drench house, Amanda Alexander. I have to give her a lot of credit for this. And so TRX, I love TRX. But right after we got certified, COVID hit and we had to shut the gym down. I love training. I love being with other women. I love that atmosphere. And so get back from home gym, get back in the swing of things, trying to finish out, the amount of time that I had dedicated to staying with this position that I was in until we could get someone else in. And I get an email from RitFit a couple of weeks before the 10th anniversary that said, hey, how would you feel about coming out to California? Stopped me dead in my tracks. I literally was like, are you for real right now? Like me? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I do know what I'm doing, but like, I was still in shock. So as the message came through my AirPod, I looked at Jeremy and he said, what are you looking at me like that for? And I was like, RitFit just invited me to the 10th anniversary. And he was like, so go, I'll take care of everything here. Go. Right. And I had to process that for a couple of hours. And Sweet. So, the invitation was for the whole family to come out because that was a family event. And he had just started a big job. He knew he could not pull away and be able to go. Our youngest child had just started school. My oldest daughter wanted to go to Home Gym Con and she wasn't able to go because we left a day early. So she walked around the corner to come into the kitchen and I said, you want to go to California? And she was like, what? And I was like, you want to go? Like RitFit invited us, you want to go? So we booked the tickets, jumped on a plane, and out to California we went. And it was amazing. And it literally was like reuniting, family reunion. I was a little intimidated once again, like, what am I going to do here? What purpose can I, or what advantage can I bring? What can I bring to the table? The minute I saw Tom, everything just fell into place. It was like coming back home, and we enjoyed the whole event. It was amazing. I did not want to leave California.
I can tell you. So Jamie says, I'm so grateful that you decided to start training. It's funny because you said the imposter syndrome thing. I still have moments where I'm like, what am I even talking about here? Why is anybody get, like with the show? I still have moments where I'm like, is anybody going to show up and watch today? And so when I tell you guys, hey, I'm excited when I see you guys already in the chat waiting for me when I come in at 4, I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So this is going to be a good day. All right. Even if there's only 3 people here, hey, let's see what God does with this. Right. And it's like, I think though that one of the blessings of being able to get to go out to RitFit to that event was we also got to network with a lot of people who were at different levels. Like they're at different stages of doing this kind of thing. Right. So we could see, number one, you got to see everybody talking together and nobody acted like they were above anybody else. But also it was a great time to kind of get feedback like, hey, well, what are you doing? Or what worked for you? Like Vern and I, that's actually where Vern and I first really had an in-depth offline conversation where we just talked. And now we talk on the phone like, a couple times a month, right? Just learning from each other. Because I know
Vern's awesome, by the way.
Oh man, Vern, first of all, he's hilarious. But then also, he's got the good energy. I just like his vibe. So I see the value of networking, but for what we do, a lot of times it's tough. So do you do things like in town, like, I don't know, Chamber of Commerce? Do you do any other, or do you have plans on doing other networking events?
So I just actually kicked off my business here the beginning of August. And so started an 8-week program with my girls. I had a slew of girls that started 8 weeks. Jamie's one of those. Amanda, some of the girls that have chimed in the chat this morning are my clients. Jamie was one of my very first.
Nice.
And this is their 8th week of the program. So they have finished the first 8 weeks and they're here for the long haul. So they're chiming in here.
Congratulations.
So I haven't attended anything locally as of this time. There hasn't really been anything in my area to go to that is gym or fitness related. I will, and I will continue to look for those events. If there's anything that you guys post about or talk about in terms of networking, I'll do my very best to be there. Right. I do try to keep up. There were a lot of the influencers that I met there at the Fit event. I keep up with all those guys on social media now and try to just make sure that I'm staying on top of those things. Right. So hopefully as this continues to grow, there will be a lot more opportunities for those events. And at the same time, I'm just trying to take it slow and enjoy the moment. Like God put all of these pieces in place for me, and my family's behind it 100%. Everybody's probably going to Home Gym Con next year. We will take another trip out to Fit and see the showroom as a family. And so I will continue to do whatever I can do that fits the dynamic of the business that I have, and continue to just reach out and hopefully be able to serve and reach other women along the way.
What about social media? Just platforms, because you got a Facebook page, you got an Instagram, a TikTok, you got a Threads account. Of course, you have a YouTube account because that's how you watch the show. And you have a Pinterest page. But I didn't see a website, which doesn't really surprise me. I know a lot of people are going away from websites because of what AI is doing and ChatGPT is doing to search. So it actually kind of makes it more difficult to be discoverable because of ChatGPT. But how did you decide where it makes the most sense to have a platform?
So I don't know that there was ever like an ultimate decision. For me, I'm old school. I know you said something earlier about being old school. I'm old school. I'm 44. Facebook and Instagram come natural to me. I remember when I first got a TikTok account, or like actually Twitter, which is now X, I was like, I'm illiterate and I can't do this. And so like Facebook and Instagram come very natural to me. And so, hey, Naomi, that's easier for me. And like, I can go into the Meta platform and I can post and share things. I still feel like even I don't post enough on those platforms either. I do have my personal account, and then I have the Balancing Grace account on both of those pages or both those platforms. I'm trying to do more with TikTok. I really am. I'm not great with it. I do not like to see myself on camera, so that's probably my biggest problem.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm gearing up to do like a 30-day program with at-home workouts to share with just other women, and anyone across the country can see those. And so I'm trying to put myself in front of the camera a little more, just like most people. I'm my own worst critic. I don't love my Southern accent on camera, although everybody else seems to think that it's great and wonderful. And so for me, again, it's just trying to figure out what to put where. I do have a Pinterest account, but that's back from years ago. Most of that's probably recipes and like ideas for the home. So I've started trying to add a little bit here and there. It's funny that you mentioned the website, because I do actually have a website and I have a domain. Wow. I'm not tech savvy. I'm by no means a graphic designer. I'll take all the help I can get. So if there's anybody listening that wants to be like, hey, Balancing Grace, let's do this, I'm open to that. Like, I just feel like it would take me hours upon hours to figure out how to implement all of those plugins and different things. And so that has been a struggle for me. So I've focused more on my girls that are coming here, making sure their workouts are what they need to be, making sure that I'm learning and I'm continuing to grow. Hopefully that answers your question. But like Facebook and Instagram just come more natural to me. And so I'm just trying to continue to plug in where I can when I can.
I think though, so first of all, yes, I have somebody I can connect you to who can hook up your website for you. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, so there's two things that I think of when I hear that, right? Number one, we don't know what we don't know, but people who see us assume we know, right? And so a lot of times people hesitate to volunteer advice. Let me put it a different way. Sometimes people give you advice about stuff that you do know about. They're like, oh, hey, you need to know how to do this. And it's like, when I need help with stuff, almost nobody ever comes to me with the information I need for what I need to know about. But I get a lot of people who are offering me advice about stuff that I'm like, man, I've already got that. And it's not that I won't take more advice. It's just, I'm like, this is what I'm dying for water. You're giving me more crackers. You know what I mean? Yes. And that's how it feels sometimes. So I appreciate the fact that you're open enough about to say, hey, look, I can be vulnerable and tell you I need help. Because again, we're on LinkedIn. Matter of fact, shout out to you because you helped me get our LinkedIn page enough followers so that we could stream to LinkedIn. But I think that's one of the things is like, I want to see more happen at Home Gym Con, where we're networking with each other as content creators, the coaches network with the coaches, so that you go back and you didn't just look at cool gym equipment. I don't want to stop doing that, but you didn't just look at cool gym equipment. You also networked and learned stuff that's going to push your business forward. You know what I mean? So that you can better serve your clients. And for content creators like me, we learn stuff so that we can better serve our audience. That's like where I think, where I want to see Home Gym Con kind of graduate to. And so I'm hopeful about that. This is actually really cool. So Kinsey said, Letha, face your fears. Your accent is awesome. We need more content creators like you. I will say that I agree with her. People who are not from the South love Southern accents. They think it's like the greatest thing, right? People from the South think that they just sound like, oh, I don't like my accent because I think it's country or just whatever. But I promise you, when I sound, because I've lived down here now longer than I've lived anywhere else in the world. And whenever I go back to where I grew up in Maryland, they talk about my Southern accent and they're like, oh, they want to hear me talk because they just love my Southern accent. Mm-hmm. And to me, I just sound normal, but you know,
right. So can I chime in to Kinsey for just a minute? So I watched your episode with Kinsey and I resonated so much with her because you were questioning her about, you know, she didn't bring her mic and her gimbal and all her things to Home Gym, and you were questioning her like, do you wish you would have made more content while you were there? And she said, like, looking back, I'm just thankful for the time I spent, and like, yes, I could have made more content. And she was kind of intimidated as well once she got there and realized that all these other content creators had all of their equipment and they were going around, they were checking out equipment and recording. What Kinsey didn't know is I was in the back corner watching her as she came through the RitFit booth, and I was like, she is a baddie. Like, she's built like a brick house. Her whole family was there supporting her, which I thought was absolutely amazing.
Shout out to Kinsey's mom.
Yes. And I heard about some cinnamon rolls or something. Like, I know the recipe. I love to cook.
Yes.
But I love that she said that because that's exactly how I feel in the moment. Like, this is still new to me. I'm still learning how to throw myself out there into the online world. I have a great community of support right here in Albertville, Alabama. But there's a lot outside of this space too. And so although I would like to reach those heights at some point, I'm not going to allow that intimidation to take over. I'm right where I need to be at this moment. And so little steps along the way. And I love that I have a network of people that can support me as I get there. So shout out to you, Kinsey, for being transparent in your interview with John as well, because I resonated with that so much.
I think it's, so I was talking to Jake about this, where I was like, you know, so you are a good fit for something like HFA, okay? Because HFA's focus is on, okay, so they have the expo, the trade show, starts on Thursday, but the beginning of the week is all seminars and continuing education classes, and so and networking, right? And so and then there's other stuff that's near you that happens or whatever. I'll tell you something that I did back when I was working in a public gym. They used to send me to clinics at colleges all the time. So I went to one at the University of Tennessee that was just a strength coaching clinic. And yeah, I knew how to squat and I knew how to teach the squat when I got there, but I ended up networking with people, which led to some other opportunities later on. I was able to write some articles because of those relationships. And that's what I'm talking about with Home Gym Con. I don't ever want to lose the family reunion vibe, but I want to make it so that, hey, I'm here anyway. I'd rather be, and I'm going to write this trip off on my taxes. So while I'm here anyway, why not take some classes and learn from somebody else, even if it's in an informal way? You know, we're just sitting down at a VIP dinner or something. We're just talking about, hey, well, tell me. So let's use Kyle from Kaizen DIY, right? When I sat at dinner with him, not this year, but last year, I asked him questions about what he did to grow. Some of the things he told me, I brought home and I've implemented them, and they're helping me to grow. And I'm trying to, and I think we should do the same thing. And sometimes you don't get those organic opportunities if we don't take a minute out of looking at gym candy and just say, hey, now, so we've got space to let's sit down and let's just talk. because there's so much stuff there now. It's very easy to spend all your time running through it like a Toys R Us. And then you go back and you saw a lot of cool stuff. But did what you learned there make you better at what you need to do the other 363 days a year? You know what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
So I only got a couple more questions.
Okay.
How you walked away, we already talked about this a little bit. You walked away from your career education to start Balancing Grace coaching, and you were the group trainer at Drench. But what did it take? Had you just kind of like reached a breaking point almost? But what did it take to go from that, turn in that letter of resignation, and pivot and say, you know what, I'm going to do full-time fitness? And because you already said that talking to Mr. Lynn from RitFit was kind of the confirmation that you were doing the right thing. But before you met him, you still had this like, ooh, I'm stepping out in faith. So what did it take to get you to the point where you were like, you know what, I am not going back to this place. I'm going to give them this letter and I'm not coming back.
So there's a lot behind that. So let me just say, I've been in education over 20 years and enjoyed and loved every minute of it. And so the last few years are just hard and heavy. Everything in education has changed. Leadership is tough on any level. And I just started feeling like I wasn't serving my purpose. I knew what I would bring to the table. I knew that my girls within the center that I was leading, we were all on the same page. But there was a point where I thought, I don't know that I'm fulfilling this role in the way that I need to anymore. And most of the time at the end of the day, my family got what was left of me. There was always two phones, a personal phone and a work phone. Emails were dinging all the time. Sometimes I was answering calls at 5 a.m. for staffing and trying to find a way to fill a classroom and different things. And I just felt like my family deserves more. We have 3 older children that are 21, 22, and 27. And when they were younger, I was able to be a lot more present in their life. And so now we have a son that's 9, and I felt like many days it was, hold on a minute. Can you read with me tonight? Let me answer this email. And at one point I just thought, enough's enough. My husband opened his own business in 2020, right in the midst of COVID, and has been extremely successful. And so I've been doing some QuickBooks and some things on the backside for him. And I just sent him a text message one day in June, and was like, what do you think? Like, what about me just resigning and hoping all my pieces fall together? And he was like, you do what's best for you, but I've been telling you for years, you don't have to do this anymore. And before the end of the day was over, I had my letter of resignation drafted. And I remember telling my girls at the center and how hard that was. And every single person within my center and within the organization that I spoke to, because I obviously had a family there, I'd been there for several years. Every single person said, I'm so proud of you for doing what's best for you. And so it's almost like a God wink of, you can do this. And so I knew stepping away from that role would be different. And it was transition period. And it was, even after I made up my mind to go into training full time, which still took me several weeks. It was a hard transition, not going to work, not having your tribe, not loving on those babies every day. But I've maintained my relationships with those people. So I think ultimately the flip and the switch was, I say a God wink, or like a moment of clarity. And my oldest daughter said, don't ask God for a sign if you don't want one. And I say that to them all the time. Like, don't pray about it if you don't want God to bring you a sign. And I'm telling you, like on that drive to that meeting one day, it was almost like, stop and breathe. Like, you can still lead and you can still serve, and you can do that in a different capacity, and you can still give your family what's best for your family.
Right.
And that moment, I don't know, other than a God wink, like I don't know how to say it, but I squalled through drafting my resignation letter. There's been plenty of times that I've squalled since then. I've gone back to the center to see my girls, and I stay in touch with them. But ultimately, I knew that I needed to come home and be a mom and a wife and help my husband with his business. And at the same time, do something that was fulfilling to me. Like, regardless of anything else in this life, I was born to be a mom and a wife, but I also was born to give back and serve others. And so this gives me that aspect as well. And having finished the first 8-week program that we called Grace in Motion, you know, the name of the business is Balancing Grace. It's just been fulfilling. Like, you did the right thing and you stepped out on faith, and it's been worth every minute of it. So
that's beautiful. So I don't want to lose these here because you need to know this information. So first of all, Kenzie's mom is bringing cinnamon rolls to Home Gym Con. Okay, let's establish that right there. All right,
I'm staking claim. I get at least one.
Okay. All right, and she's got to bring them to my show. All right, but I'll meet her in the parking lot if I need to. And then Joey said, Kenzie, I hope she makes a double batch. Kenzie says she will make a double batch. Okay, so if that doesn't make you buy your Home Gym Con ticket, I don't really know how to help you at this point. I don't know what to do with you. Okay, but back to your story, I'm gonna say, this is you kind of had like the Esther moment. So my brother says the need is the calling. When you recognize something and you're like, oh, this needs to happen. And actually, this is for everybody. If you've ever looked at something and you say, man, I don't know why somebody doesn't just do something about this, it's because you're supposed to do something about it. Because it doesn't bother other people like it bothers you, because you're supposed to do something about it. That's why it bothers you. And the more it bothers you, the more urgent it is that you're the one supposed to do something about it. And when you were talking, I just, like you said, okay, this is what I feel like I need to do as far as my purpose. All I heard in my head was, how do you know you weren't put here for such a time as this? And that right there was like, yeah, you're walking in your purpose, and that's the most inspiring thing. I love hearing. I had no idea what I was going to get when I asked you that question, and I'm so glad I included it in questions, because I told you I tried to do 10 questions, and I actually ended up with like 20, and I carved it down, and finally I said, you know what? I capped off Harrison at 15. I'm gonna give Letha 15, and whatever we don't get to, right? And I'm so glad I didn't cut that question out, because I think that might have been the most important answer you gave today. And JB says this is an inspirational story to hear. Says she may not know it, but you're definitely an inspiration.
Thank you.
And Kenzie said, God is good. I'm glad you found your calling. And I am glad too. Now, what I want is for you to connect with other people who may want to take advantage of Balance and Grace coaching, or who may just want to connect with you, see what you do on social media, or they may have maybe they have a product they want to kind of send your way to see if you'll try it out. They want a woman's perspective. Just for whatever reason, people need to get in touch with you. I want to build that bridge for them to be able to do it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to give you the solo screen. Tell everybody how they can follow you, how to get in touch with you, especially if they're interested in training at Balance and Grace Coaching.
Okay, first of all, thank you all for your kind words. So I made it through that question without crying too, John. That's huge. This early in the morning and I didn't cry. That's amazing. So I do have just my personal Facebook and Instagram, and it's Letha Cannon, as you can see on the screen, the correct spelling. Thanks, John, for getting that right, because most people don't. And I do have the Balance and Grace Instagram and Facebook page. You guys can always email me. It's lethacannon@balanceandgracecoaching.com. I'm open for reviews of any products. Send me all the products. We'll knock down this wall. We'll expand. We'll make sure that we have room for it. I love being able to network. Most of the people that I see on your comment section, I've never met in person formally. Most of them I do know who they are. Harry's coming on shortly. I've been keeping up with him with his little challenge that he did, or I say little challenge, it actually was huge, his Curltember. And so like I know a lot of these people by name, and I look forward to being able to actually meet them in a different perspective. And I would love to network and reach out with women across the United States, or even in other countries, wherever, and just get together. If you need online assistance, if you're local and you want to train in person, we'll work that out. I'll do whatever I can. Ultimately, I'm here to serve you, and we can be better together. And so find your balance in life, which is what I struggled to do for years. So that's where the balance part of the Balance and Grace came from, is I always tell everybody else, find your balance. And then it was time for me to find my balance. And then grace. So the logo that I have is a Polynesian symbol for grace. And it states that grace is just a way of being, and that people, things, and circumstances just are, and they're not to be judged. So you guys will see that logo on my website, and it's the Polynesian symbol for grace with a wave below it, and a water drop or a sweat drop for ripple, because I believe that one ripple of water can create an effect for an eternity. And that's really what I want to be, is just a ripple in the community of women who believe that they're worth it, and they put themselves first. And when you become better for you, you become better for your family and your friends and those that you serve. And that's what balance and grace is about. So find your balance and give yourself grace.
That is so awesome. Make sure you give me that web address, and I will add it to the video description so that anybody who's on the, or actually when you get off the call, just add it into the live chat, and then I'll copy it from there and I'll put it in the video description so people in the live chat can see your website information. And then anybody who's watching on replay, shout out to the replay gang, will be able to just go into the replay and pull it up from the video description. Okay. That way we can get your information out there. Letha, thank you so much for being here. I will message you with the stuff and I will connect you to the website person. And I got some other ideas too. Like I said, we just like your vibe, and God bless you. And I love watching you win, sis.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys, and give Naomi a hug for me and tell her I said, hey.
Heck yeah, I'm doing it. I'll head downstairs and do it as soon as the show's over. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take it easy. All right, that was the super awesome Letha Cannon. She is doing big things over there in Alabama, and I just love hearing her story because I love hearing people who step out in faith to follow their purpose. All right. Now, shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. If you just joined our show, welcome. As I said, we just wrapped a great segment with Letha Cannon of Balance and Grace Coaching. And now we are going to be pivoting slightly to another awesome guest, Harrison Lands. Harrison is the organizer of the first annual, so I said first because I want there to be a second, first annual Curltember online training event, and a proud member of the 5/8 Society. I always love it when I see people looking for ways to get others involved in our community, because honestly, training at home can be a lonely experience. And as recent research from the fitness software giant ABC Fitness confirms, like 57% of public gym members list social interaction and connection as reasons for why they join a fitness community. And there's no reason why you have to join a public gym in order to feel connected. And so whenever I see events like Curltember, the Garage Gym Competition, even Home Gym Con, I think those are great ways to help us connect with other people who share our values. And that's why I always support them, because let's face it, if you work out, you are constantly probably surrounded by negative, non-athletic, regular people at work and in social groups who often discourage us. Sometimes they don't even realize they're discouraging us, but it's always great to connect with people who share our values. And so I'm excited to hear about Curltember, how it came about, and what's next. So let's go ahead and let's welcome my guy Harrison to the show. Harrison, you ready? He's ready. All right, let's bring him on. All right.
Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.
Letha didn't want to leave. That's what I like. That's what you want to have, a show where people don't want to leave. First of all, you're already in violation.
1 second.
Good, because you're already in violation.
Good start already.
So Harrison is already in violation because he is one of the rules is you don't come on my show with a deeper voice than me. And I don't like that. Okay.
All right.
There you go. Did you hear what I said, Harrison?
I did not. My audio is not working. Good start already, but
no, that's okay.
Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Well, I said that you are already in violation because I don't allow people on this show with a deeper voice than me. So I don't know what your kind of filter you may need to put on yourself, but we can't. This will not be tolerated. All right, I'm just telling you that right now. I had to speak to Scott McDonald from Body Solid. I had to speak to everybody I talked to. Say, hey man, look, there'll be no more of this, okay? And now you're just the latest offender in the group. Anyway,
well,
so
I put on a cover up for you. I was gonna wear my Curltember tank, so
man,
I did that for you already.
I appreciate that. I said, like I said, I don't want to see people's armpit hairs during my interview with them. I'm just not. I'm glad you got them. I don't want to see them anyway. So home gym. Hey, look, Spencer has arrived just in time to watch this interview. So you know you're a celebrity when you're bringing in people from the community just to hear you talk. Let's see. Joey said, "Big Harrison in the house. The Curltember legend is here," according to JB. And Jared said, "Big Harrison, got to meet him and his family at the Home Gym Con grip competition." And Eric Echo said, Harry, no Canadians allowed. All right, hey, we laying down rules left and right. Okay,
It's okay. I can take it.
So let's start out talking about Curltember. First of all, before we say that, I want to know, how long have you been in the home gym community? I know that you started your home gym during COVID, but how long have you been active in the community, interacting with people? You know, not in the shadows lurking. How long have you been active?
Yeah, it was definitely in the shadows lurking for a while. You know, watching Coop, Basement Brandon, even Marcus from Twisted Barbell. So
okay,
about 2 years ago, maybe at my first home gym con, 2024.
Okay.
So after that, started becoming more involved, I think, in the home gym community. You know, really enjoyed meeting people like, you know, Jared Martin and Eric Eccles and all those people who I met at my first home gym con. It was super fun and, you know, encouraged me, I think, to be more active in the community. So that's what, you know, when it started.
I think that's one of the best maybe hidden benefits of home gym con, because originally it was like, we're going to get together with people we already know from online, but who we've never met in person. Now home gym con is it's still that, but it's also a great way to meet people who you may not already follow. You just run in, you might be standing at a booth looking at something and somebody else is standing there, you strike up a conversation. Then so it's like going in the other direction now. You start following them. You're like, well, I'm going to keep up with this person because I met him at home gym con.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Oh yeah, and that led to some good collabs. So we talk about that.
Good things coming out of that.
So now you say, okay, well, I'm active in the community, and you decide to start Curltember. So I know you were inspired by Squattober and Deadcember. But why did you pick Curltember, not Benchtember or Rovember? Why was it curls?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, that I guess the only point of all the other muscles in the body are really to hold up the biceps, right? So, you know, why would I pick any other muscle group than the biceps? So, you know, seemed like an obvious choice to me.
I can't. Okay, you know, that's not the answer I prepared for.
I've never seen you go off script like that so much.
Prepare for that.
Got him.
He said that the only purpose for the rest of the body is to hold the biceps up. I don't remember that from school, but okay.
That's what we learned in med school too.
Okay, all right, very well. All right. Oh my God.
But yeah, you know, it's fun. I think everyone can sort of get around curling. It's, you know, not like a big exercise like squatting that takes a lot of effort. So I think more people can do it easily, and, you know, it's fun to do and fun to show off. So I liked it for that reason. Wow,
that was just okay. I mean, I was ready for you to bring up something related to Gluck or anything else. Anything. I wasn't ready for that. I'm glad I wasn't drinking something when you said that, because I'd have spit it all over my screen. That'd have been horrible. I probably would have gone viral. Yeah. Anyway, so I was happy to spread the word when you reached out to me about it. You know, but did you like cold call, as far as getting sponsors? Did you cold call the sponsors, or was this something you like at Home Gym Con? You meet people and you say, "Hey, I might have something I want to do this year. Are you in or out?" Like, how did you connect with people as far as sponsorships for the event?
Yeah, and thanks for spreading the word. You know, I really appreciate it. As someone who was and still is sort of a small content creator, it's, you know, nerve-wracking to reach out to people and, you know, get them to sponsor your, you know, little competition or little event. So, you know, I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I met some of the people at Home Gym Con, but I didn't really have the fully baked idea of Curltember until after. So reached out to people, you know, cold calling them to see if they would, you know.
Okay. All right, so Harry just froze. So what I normally do in this situation is I just tell you what I think he was going to say, and he can't stop me or tell me, you know, that was wrong because his screen froze. So let's go ahead, and I'll go right here while we wait for Harry to come back. Looks like he might have had his internet connection might have froze on him. I'm gonna message him on Instagram and let him know really quick. Let's see here. I want to make sure I did not miss any of your comments because you guys had some comments. Looks like Harry's coming back. He'll be back in a second. This is the one comment that I didn't get a chance to read, and it's legendary enough to say it. Garp said, I like home gym equipment, but I like cinnamon rolls even more. If that's not a manifesto for life, I don't know what is. That right there. Let's bring Harry back. So what you missed while you were out is Carp's manifesto. He said, I like home gym equipment, but I like cinnamon rolls even more. So that's our new mantra. We may make that the show motto. I don't know.
My audio doesn't seem to be working for me too well. Let me try and rejoin.
Okay.
1 second.
You going out and you coming back? All right. No problem. All right. So, yeah, we might make this the show motto. I also have some stuff I want to do with you guys because, we are planning on doing a live show at Home Gym Con again. And I think it's a little too early for me to put out the list of people, so you guys can kind of RSVP. But when I do, we're planning on doing some really cool stuff. So when I do put that out, you guys, it was kind of important that I knew how many of y'all were coming last year or this past year because I was going to get you guys stuff. Well, I definitely am going to need to know how many of you are coming because I'm going to need a little bit more lead time to put everything together. Because this time I think I gave everybody like a patch. What we're trying to do is put together a gift bag for everybody who shows up to the live show. So just make sure when I'll give you guys more information about that as we get closer to the date. But when I put out the word and say, hey, we're going to be doing a live show at Home Gym Con, make sure you sign up for it. Make sure you sign up for it because I need to know because we're trying to put together gift bags for everybody. Harry, you back?
I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
App is taking a lot of memory, I guess, on my computer.
Yeah, it's I tell I guess I should have mentioned that you got to have like a what you call a fast and stable Ethernet connection. I actually just plug in, but it depends on the speed of your Wi-Fi. If you're on Wi-Fi, a lot of times we have to like tell people, hey, cut everything else off, like this, cut off your Spotify or whatever, so that you have everything's dedicated to just this.
Where were we? All right. Reaching out to companies.
Hold on, Joey. That's slander. He said I kicked you out for having a deeper voice. That's slander. It might be true, but it's slander. All right. All right. Anyway, so we were talking about reaching out to companies and and like cold calling them.
Yeah. Reached out to a lot of companies. Was surprised honestly by the positive support I got. People have a lot of things going on. Equipment's expensive, especially to donate something for free, and without the promise of what's it going to look like. I only partially figured out what Curltember was going to be at that point.
Yeah,
was pleasantly surprised by the response I got and the willingness of companies to donate products, and also individuals like Gluck and Harp and those people to donate things to the event. So it was super exciting and fun to see.
So there's a question I actually included in the questions, but now Jared is asking a version of it, right? So I'll just use his. He said, what percentage of companies replied and participated in Curltember? And then my piggyback off of that is, of the companies, if anyone turned you down, now that there's social proof, are they more willing to do it next year?
I hope so. I would love for this to grow and have more giveaways to give out to everyone. I don't know the exact percentage, but it was pretty high. I was shocked actually by it. Obviously there are companies that it's not right for them to give the products at this point, or it's not part of their priorities, and totally fine. I get it. There were companies that didn't respond, and that's okay too. Maybe for next year they'll reach out proactively, hopefully.
Right.
But very high percent of companies responded and were willing to participate in Curltember. So it was super fun to see.
What about having a Curltember event at Home Gym Con, like a max curls or whatever, Not
That'd be fun.
I'm not talking about a strict curl event, although you could do that, but I'm talking about, okay, how many times can you curl this fixed weight?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it.
Yeah,
that'd be super fun to have, people see what they can do.
Okay.
Not sure I can stop at all, but fun to watch.
Hey, heck yeah. That's really all it's about. It's like it just gives you something, like I said, it's a good way to connect. Because I mean, I don't necessarily get excited about curls, but I posted my video of me doing axle bar curls. First of all, it was already in the program workout for the day. But then also I was like, oh yeah, I'll just post it because while I may not think anybody else cares about it, it's part of the event. And to me, it's kind of like, just kind of like getting people to all be connected by something. You know what I mean? So I can just go ahead and skip because you just basically said that you'd love to do it again. Where do you think it can go from here, though, as far as and what I mean by that question is with the garage gym competition, originally it was just kind of it's a competition, but now when Joe started doing it and started to grow a little bit, he started doing it as a way to raise money for charities. So have you thought about anything like that? Like, where do you like, what's your vision for it? Or are you kind of just going organically and seeing what happens from here?
I was just excited that it all sort of came together in the end. So I'm still coming off of that high a little bit, but where it can go, I mean, it would be great, I think, if we could donate money to charity from it. How that would exactly work, I'd have to figure out and would love to get advice from Joe and others on how to do that. I think if we can spread word about, important charities and, get people curling and interested in home gym equipment and home gym community, and I think it's great.
All right. So this is a good one here. And you know what? The first person I ever heard say this was Dave Tate, where he said the reason why powerlifters should do curls is because I'm sure you've seen it, like guys who are so tight that when they go to deadlift mixed grip, they have to turn their entire body to get their palm under the bar because they can't supinate anymore because they haven't done a curl in 10 years, right? So that's one health reason, but I'm glad Joey brought it up. It says curls are great because it does keep your tendons healthy, plus you get big arms, and nobody's mad about that. But now, the reason why I laughed is because JB said he's got a challenge for you. He says the next challenge is for you to do a curl with every dumbbell in that rack behind you. And he said he'll buy another sticker pack from you upon completion.
Thanks, JB. He's been super supportive as well. So it's been fun to interact with him. I don't know how far I can get with all those, but I can certainly try.
Hey, I mean, they're different kind of curls. So I'm just saying there's different. You have options. And he never said that you got to do them all on the same day.
There you go.
So, look, I'm a champion C lawyer, as we used to say in the Marine Corps. He's that guy that knows all the regulations because he knows all the loopholes. So, hey, I'm here for you. Eric said, I like the unique tools everyone was using to do their curls. That's another thing too. It's like, I think that it's cool about curls is you're not limited to just a barbell or dumbbells. You can do curls with all towel, rope, all kinds of different things, cables, whatever. Yeah, all kinds of different things. Dustin Payne said Curltember was a phenomenal idea. Can't wait for it next year. He said, thanks, Harry.
Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it.
Spencer is disappointed in us because nobody has said that curls get the girls. Sorry. I failed you. I feel like I failed you, Spencer. I apologize. And Dustin is on board with a curl competition next year.
All right.
I mean, you've seen like the strict curl competitions where you basically put your back. Yeah. But I mean, while that's great, got no issue with that. I just think it'd be interesting to see people just say, hey, let's just everybody takes this and you rep out with it. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely open to it.
I mean, there's like if you really want to be sadistic and masochistic, you could say, all right, you could do the curls for time thing. Like a curl relay. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but so basically you curl to failure. And it's basically this bar can can't touch the ground for this specific amount of time. So I'm going to curl it. Okay, I'm tired. I hand it to you. You got to curl it and you got to just keep on curling. Fun. And we're going to curl for an hour or something like that, right? You just keep on passing it down. Next person. And if you make it to the hour, then people got to donate to a charity or something like that. And God bless all of y'all trying to eat after that, after that. Because nobody's going to be able to do this to get a fork to their face. It's not going to happen. What advice do you have for anyone who wants to do a similar competition as far as Curltember, or a competition similar to Curltember. Oh, we lost him again. We lost him again. I did not kick anyone out for having a deeper voice than me. Oh, wait a minute. So hold up. So Jake said we can make it happen. He said there will be a I'm waiting. Harry just entered again. All right. So while you were gone, Jake and I, Jake said that we can make it happen, that there will be a strict curl competition.
No, my audio is not working. I'll rejoin. 1 second.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you're back.
You can hear me. All right. So Jake said that there will be a strict curl competition.
Oh, looks like it's already being done.
No,
he wants me
that's
to
a
do it.
that's a strict curl competition. Not a curlathon.
Got it.
And we there's a little bit of feedback. Can you cut off my audio?
Let me rejoin and see what's happening.
Okay.
It'll
All right.
quit every so often, which is a little annoying, but hopefully it works.
That's all right.
I'll be back.
We'll make it through it. We're gonna power through. All right, so there'll be a strict curl competition. Eric says you got to put your back into it, and Spencer wants to make sure there's going to be weight classes. Hey, I feel like we're on the ground floor of something that's never been done before, of the curlathon, and so yeah, there could be. I think with the curlathon, it doesn't even matter because it's just a matter of this bar cannot touch the ground once we start. JB said you heard it here first. Breaking news on Garage. Hey, I pride myself on breaking news, man. That's actually one of the reasons why I think, as far as people getting up, if you're gonna ask people to get up early in the morning, you have to kind of pay them for their time. You know what I'm saying? And you pay them for their time by giving them information that they can't get anywhere else. All right. So we good?
I think so.
All right, cool. So yeah, and I was just saying that, as far as people are asking if there'll be weight classes for the strict curl competition and whatnot. And I'm sure that all that can happen. In fact, I do need to get Jake back on here so we can talk about what's coming up with the Garage Gym with Home Gym Con next year. I need to get if I can convince Joe Gray to be on here too, talk about the Garage Gym competition. I will do that as well.
Yeah, I've been talking with him about trying to get a Stein holding competition going at Home Gym Con, but we'll see if I can make that happen or not.
So let me ask you this: so anybody who wants to come up with something similar, some sort of online event, what advice do you have for them?
I'd say reach out to people, and they're willing to help out more than you think. Everyone has been super nice in this community and, willing to support, willing to donate things and sponsor and willing to lend their expertise. So don't be afraid to just reach out to people and ask for their advice and help.
Okay. Now let's pivot a little bit. Carp said he's a big 5'8" society guy. Are you still 5'8"? Are you still 5'8" society though? Because you got that ATX rack, and I don't know what size the holes are on those racks.
He got rid of that one, right?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to make sure we're all on the same page here. If he's still, I'm not trying to kick him out of the society. Okay. I'm not involved in that. I'm just saying, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Dustin Payne said instead of OG hands across America, it's the new curls across America. I'm telling you, people will get involved in it. I can see a line of people all the way down. Or it could be a relay. So we got to curl this bar all the way until it gets to the end. So you curl and turn, hand it to the next person. Take it, curl it, turn, and it goes all the way down to the end and all the way back. That's fine too.
Make it happen.
Carp said that you and Rob from Vintage Weights PGH would be a heck of a podcast because of your two voices.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right. And Eric said you were correct. Eric is the final authority because he knows everything.
He knows it all.
Stuff. And he knows stuff he shouldn't know. So he said that Carp sold it. So there we go. All right, let's pivot and talk about equipment hacks you've done. And let's start with the spotter arm safety straps. So You got the idea from Darko, as I understand it.
Yep.
But you built it yourself. So So let me, before I ask you this question, I want you to hear where I come from, right? There's a couple of factors that go into how I view home gym equipment. First is that when I got involved in the home gym community, there really wasn't a home gym community, because in 2001, when I got my home workout space, the internet had not advanced to the point where we were really connecting with each other. You did well if you could find a forum where you could actually just talk to other people who lift, right? So I was on like bodybuilding.com forums, T-Nation forum, things like that. But so and the equipment that we were getting a lot of times wasn't modular. So basically you get a power rack. It was just all as close to all one piece as you can imagine, right? So there wasn't all this DIY. Well, let me hack this and let me hack that. You just couldn't do it. So
Right.
I don't really think like that in the first place. And then I'm also more kind of like biased towards how can I use something that I've already, what are new ways to use something I already have, as opposed to what's a different way I could do a thing, right? So it's not that I don't do creative things. It's more like I'm like, oh, hey, I wonder what are the different ways I can press this bar, just for example, right? So having said that, what was it about making the spotter arm safety straps that appealed to you rather than just asking Darko to just send you some?
Yeah, well, I was waiting for Darko to come out with them. Unfortunately, he never really did. And then I saw someone else online, make something similar and thought, that's a good idea. I have a few nice bars, after home gym con and whatnot, want to protect those and didn't want to drop them on my UHMW safeties. So figured it was a good product, better protect my bars and whatnot. It was fun to make it and go through that process. I love tinkering in the home gym, as you probably know, trying to find hacks and tips here. So it was fun to go through the process and get the brackets designed, get them cut and made by a manufacturer, and then go on to get custom protectors put on them and try and put this all together to see if it would work. It's been super fun. So the process of actually doing it was fun too, not just buying something outright that I could slap on. It's definitely easier to do that, but it's the fun, I think, is doing it yourself and trying to come up with solutions.
All right, so, and let me pull this up so people can see what I'm talking about with these safety straps. So this is you dropping 500 pounds on them. So this is something that you kind of like, it was like a group project, I can say. Kind of like when I was talking to Chip Birdie, and he's like, yeah, he's got all these different group projects where they just cooperate and make stuff, right? So this was really a group project. Talk about some of the people who were involved. You had to get, was it Send Cut Send?
Send Cut Send made the metal brackets there. I just spray painted them myself when they got here. And then Aperture Engineering did the custom covers, those like lip covers that are made of his tough plastic to further protect the bar so there's no metal on metal contact. And then the rest of it, I got the straps from Bells of Steel. Those are just off the shelf straps. I would love someone to come out with custom color straps. I think that's something that's sort of missing in the home gym. Bells had red and whatnot at some point, but I think they got rid of that and only have a few colors now.
So this is what they look like up close.
Yeah.
You said all the hardware's from Home Depot?
Yep. Just regular, 5/8 inch bolts that go through it. Pretty simple stuff. Hardware is more expensive than I thought it would be. So.
Oh yeah. Home Depot is making a killing off the home gym community. Shout out to Home Depot though. I'm glad y'all are there, because there've been many times I've had to like run over to Home Depot just to get something because whatever. So there's another shot of the safety spotter straps right there. You got guards for it. Is this one of those things where you're kind of like constantly upgrading it? So like you just mentioned that you want to get a different color option for the strap. So that's a potential upgrade, in the future. Oh, he froze. I'll never know. All right, Joey wants us to try 1-inch hardware. All right. So let me go ahead and you guys can keep on chasing. I'm fairly certain Harrison's going to come back in a little bit, but you guys can check out the guards for the safety spotter, these different videos. I'm pulling all of these from his Instagram. So you guys need to follow him on Instagram at homegym_Harry. And you guys will be able to see all of the stuff for all of his different DIY projects. You'll be able to check all of that out. And also, that's probably the best place to contact him. Like, shoot him a DM if you have any questions about building it yourself. I'm going to look on here because I know he had a video, or he had a post where he talked about where, like, all the stuff that went into the making those spotter straps, and I'm trying to find it. So that's him using the same thing for as to protect for presses, because as you guys can see, there's not enough room for him to press in his rack because he's got a belt squat in there. I'm trying to find this thing here. He's got the list of all the, maybe this is it. No, that's not it. Let's go down. Maybe this is it. No, that's testing. Anyway, when he comes back, I'll see if I can get the exact URL link, and I will share that link in the video description so you guys can pull it up, and then you'll see what he's got as far, like what all went into it, and if you want to do the same thing, you'll have access to that information. Okay, now let's see if he's back. Yep, he's back. All right, let's add. So what I'm looking for right now, Harry, is your the post that you did where you list all of the the brands that cooperated with you to make the safety spotter straps.
One of the newer ones where it's a close up, I think.
Okay, yeah. I see. I thought I went down too far. I mean, I thought I went up too far, but it's actually this one.
You go down, down two. One more. Go down.
Hey, I know that guy. Right here.
That one, but I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Oh no. That's
okay, so let's see here.
It must be newer.
All right, so just I'll find it and I'll add it into the description for the video. Oh, there it is, right there. It says instructions. Yeah. All right, yeah. All right, so send cut send. You had to send the CAD file to them so they could cut the metal. Then you spray painted it with Rust-Oleum.
It works well.
Bells of Steel is where you got the 24-inch long safety straps, and then he's got a materials list, like exactly how many bolts you need and all that kind of stuff. And then he also recommend 3D printed tough protectors from Aperture Engineering, and of course you credited Darko for the original design. So that's it. So I'm going to post that link to this specific post in the video in the comments right here. You're getting shots fired at you, by the way, from the chat for your Wi-Fi. JB said
it's the computer, not the Wi-Fi.
He said shout out to Harry's Wi-Fi. And then Joey said you should try 1-inch hardware.
I knew there'd be comments on that.
I can tell that. But I thought Joey. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, so now let's go to this. I'm gonna make sure I don't leave this out because Harry got very aggressive. Harrison, he seems like a nice guy, but Harrison got very aggressive with me because I did not include the rev bar in the list of questions. Okay, like I was actually concerned. So I was like, I want him to come back on the show, so we're gonna definitely talk about the rev bar right now. Okay, just don't hurt me.
Right.
We're talking about the rev bar right now. So you first saw the rev bar design in a I guess it was a gym tour with Massonomics
gym tour
with with powerlifting legend Donnie Thompson. All right, what was it about the design? And I'm going to go ahead and pull it up while you talk about this, but I'm going to pull it up so people can see what I'm talking about. But what was it about the design that made you say, "Oh, I have to have one of these"?
I mean, Donnie Thompson had it first of all, so
okay.
But he talked about how there's an extra contraction you feel at the end of the movement during tricep press downs, by curling your wrist down, you feel it there. I thought that was super interesting. Most of the tricep bars that I had seen, and I'd used the Larry Scott tricep bar at some commercial facilities before and really liked that, but they don't rotate. So I thought that was a nice feature to add to it. Asked the Massonomics guys, if they knew where I could get one of these bars. They'd reached out to Donnie. I think it's something that wasn't made anymore, and so wanted to bring it back. And reached out to my friend Matt Porter to see if he was interested in making it. Didn't know it would come into this entire thing where he's doing a pre-order and everything, but it's been exciting to see that. I really like what he crafted and was able to come up with. Was able to get my hands on it first at Home Gym Con, and I took home the red one. But I really like using it. I think it's a different stimulus than you get with any of the Larry Scott tricep, the normal Larry Scott tricep bars, or any other bars you can use for triceps. Originally it was for triceps. Can also be used for curls and lat work as well, but mainly triceps is what I wanted to use it for. But Porter did a really nice job with it. It looks great. You're still getting shots fired at your Wi-Fi, by the way. Spencer wants to know if Home Depot sells routers. And merciless. So, I was going to ask you this later, but I'm going to ask you now. What was it? How long have you been a fan of Larry Scott and like his training style? Because a lot of time, most people, I would argue, if they've even heard of Larry Scott, have no idea that he was the one by way of. So originally it was Vince Gironda, then it became Larry Scott. Were the proponents of keeping your pinkies higher than your thumbs for movements like any kind of like lateral raises, even Scott curls. He wants you at the top. He wants your pinky to end up higher, so you get full contraction. Well, how did you become a fan of Larry Scott? Coop mentioned the pinkies up approach, one of the lat pull downs he was doing, and I thought that was an interesting idea. I'll test it out and see if I like it. Yeah. WM Fab make me a Larry Scott lat pull down bar with the pinkies up. Feels amazing. I really like the feel of that in terms of the extra stretch you get with your lats. Had never used anything like it before in a commercial gym or. No, heck no. So I really like that approach to, the lat pull downs. So what's funny is, we had to do a review of a power rack, right? It was one of these Amazon brand racks, and literally the only thing that I mentioned that I liked about it in the review was the fact that the pull-up bar was designed so that you could actually put it in upside down, and then cool. And so I could get that Larry Scott effect, right? Yep. Now, that's not a shout out to them, because I literally, about the entire product, the only thing I said I liked about it was that I could put the pull-up bar on upside down. And so I said, otherwise it's worthless. But I didn't say it like that. But normally you don't get that, because pull-down bars are all designed to, like, people are like, oh, well, it's comfortable. Like, not pull-down bars, even pull-up bars, they have it's angled down at the end. Yeah. And it's like, okay, it's comfortable. When the reality is that if you have it the other way, not only do you get a great pre-stretch, it's healthier for your shoulders, but you're going to get better muscle development too, which is honestly the point of doing all this. You're supposed to get, you're trying to get better, right? So that, when I saw that you said that a couple of times, I was like, oh, wait, like, this is somebody else who knows the deal about Larry Scott. That's pretty cool. So, and in fact, that was the next question. It was like, where you did something similar with the paddle handles, where you said, you turned it to the offset position. Did we just lose him again? Yep, we just lost him again. Jared said, I'm still tempted by that WM lat pull down bar you mentioned. He said, maybe one day. I'm telling you, if it's nice, if you want to buy it, man, you definitely need to buy it. Let me go ahead and let me remove your alter ego out of here. Kick that guy out of here. All right, there you go. So I was just talking about how you took the paddle handles and moved them to the offset position
to get that pinkies up thing. So is that something that you're doing now with any kind of pull down movement? You're like, let me just see how that feels if I try to do the pinkies up thing.
I have the paddle handles just permanently offset basically in that position and don't move them around. Really like it for rows too. Anything where you're pulling. I had a setup where I had a single cable attachment point, and so I was using the WM Fab layer scout bar and other mag grips and whatnot. But now I have the Speedience basically as my main cable system, and that is 2 attachment points. So it's hard to really use just the single one. So I had to find a way to recreate the pinkies up approach, and this seems to work pretty well for doing that. And then you can have individual sides not compensate for the other one. So I like that too, where you're really working each side individually.
Okay. Now, I want to say I'm looking for this thing that you had here, because I was scrolling back through your your Instagram, and I was like, I feel like I remember seeing this when you first posted it. Oh, Jared said that he saw you do it and he tried it and it is legit, and he's added it to his bank of triceps movements.
Nice.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna, and this has to do with the stirrup thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw it, I said, man, I feel like I've seen this post before, but I didn't see anybody commented on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull this up here because I want to know if anybody's even said anything to you about it, where you tried out some, like, these are actual stirrups that you're supposed to use to ride a horse, and Home Gym Harry grabbed some and used them as a cable attachment. So you say you like the open hand feel of them, but it could use some refinement. And you asked if anybody wanted to collab. So there's like 20 something people who liked the post, but I don't see any comments. Has anybody said anything to you about it?
Well, those are actually probably going to come out soon as a refined attachment. Caracara Metal is going to make those and test them out, see if they live up to the hype, and if other people want them, they can buy them from him. But those hopefully are coming out soon. I really like the open hand feel for cable flies, or press down movements, anything where you feel like you need an open palm feeling. The stirrups, they don't rotate at all, so that's one thing that need to be improved, and they're a little bit narrow.
So
he's going to fix that, make them rotate, make them a little bit more comfortable, and add his own flair to them. I think the D handle part is going to be from belt fed, the leather part, so it should look really nice together.
So when you talk about the flat part of it, so until you said that it's going to rotate, I thought about the flat tricep press down bar from 4-6 Fitness. I said, oh, it probably gives a single hand version of that.
Yeah,
that movement, right? So that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, let me see. That might be something I need to check out if it's going to be at Home Gym Con next year, just to check it out, see what the how it feels.
I'm excited to get that in and test it out. So I'll make some videos on that and we'll see what it's like.
Yeah, I just think it's intriguing because it's like this dude saw a horse, and his mind went from that to triceps. I was like, that takes some work. That's a little bit of work, but hey,
Joey wants to call them the hairy horsey handles, so we'll see if that takes hold.
That's a choice. That's gonna be a choice. All right. Let's talk about the 5'8" Society, because I keep seeing people posting it. I had it in the questions, and I see people mentioning it or whatever. So again, we're on LinkedIn. So most of the people watching have no idea what a 5'8" Society is. So explain what that is.
Yeah.
And why that's so important to you guys. And yeah, we'll just do that.
It was a fun thing that I think I came up with, and Jared encouraged me to do.
I might have known. Okay.
As he does, but basically there's a trend in home gyms that 1-inch hardware is the end all be all, and there's no reason to have any other hole size. I don't know that that's necessarily true. Might be a little bit overkill. You lose a lot of metal too by cutting out those big holes, and you lose west side hole spacing, which is nice to get the precise placement of spotter arms, J-cups, everything that you would need to put on a rack. And so, it sort of started as a fun bit. Had Marcus from 922 Designs make a nice rack badge that's still on my rack. But I really like the 5/8 inch holes. I think they add something to the racks, and I don't really see a reason to upgrade, or not really upgrade, but move the 1 inch hole.
You said upgrade. You said upgrade.
Taking it back. But
I mean, look at this. You guys got certificates. You got certificates.
Yeah, that was funny. Going off the Massonomics home gym certified, facility, which my gym is one, but thought it was funny if people want that. But the stickers came out nice. Plate Snacks always does a nice job, so some people have that. There you go,
Jared says he's 5/8 for life. Says you can market them with so many Triple H gifts. Oh, and there's a rewind. As far as that stirrup goes,
will rotate.
It will rotate, yes. The original version did not.
Yeah.
All right, but now let's go back to this 5/8 society business. All right. You're telling me that the entire foundation of this 5/8 whole thing is that you think you're losing too much metal when the hole is 1 inch. That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me with a straight face.
It's more pushing back on the fact that 5/8 inch holes aren't strong enough to do what you need to do, and are somehow.
Oh yeah, that's garbage.
Holes.
No, yeah.
So, and we get a lot of ideas, I think, with the home gym community, and you see all these people with their nice 1 inch hole racks, and you don't really need that. Is my view, and I think it's okay to have differing views, and there's
right.
I think nice to have diversity in the home gym as well of 5/8 holes too. I really want companies to continue to manufacture attachments for 5/8 inch, like I know PRX is doing. Because there's
okay. Okay, Carp. So Carp said you're currently rackless. So you sold your ATX rack, the 3/4 rack, and so you don't have a rack at all, which is why you're upset about that yoke from Rep Fitness. All right, and so because now you don't have an in between or extra rack that you can just pull out whenever you're in between racks. I got you. Yeah, I got you, man. I mean, that's annoying, Like, I mean, as a general rule, we don't get rid of a rack. Like, we're done getting rid of racks anyway. But as a general rule, we don't. That's why we didn't get rid of a rack until we got a new one in, even though it meant that it's a little bit crowded here in the gym sometimes, because we have, two different racks, like one in boxes, and then there's another rack still in the way while you're waiting for people to come and buy a rack from you. But yeah. That was basically to avoid that exact thing. So my big thing about the 5/8 thing is not being able to find attachments for that I wanted. Okay, it's not that there aren't attachments out there. It's that I'm like, for me, like, okay, the gym is there to train, and if I have these specific things I want to train. And if I can't find the stuff that I need to train, and what happened is basically we went from 1 inch hole racks to a 5/8 hole rack, my first 5/8 hole rack. And I'm looking for the stuff. I'm like, okay, first of all, it's annoying. I'm going to have to find stuff that works on this. And then a lot of the companies that were making 5/8 products or 5/8 racks didn't have attachments. And I'm like, well, you want me to switch to your rack? You don't have an ecosystem that makes me not want to go back to 1 inch holes. Which is the whole reason why the keyhole thing even came about. Because if you think about it, if there were as many attachments for 5/8, then those of us with 1 inch hole racks wouldn't care. We'd be like, oh, whatever. I can find the exact same stuff in 5/8. It's not a big deal. So that's my, I'll say, pragmatic reason for why I'm not even anti 5/8, to be honest with you. But that's the reason why I lean towards the 1 inch holes. I will say, as far as 5/8 holes go, though, that once we started getting 5/8 holes, you started to see a lot more precision in the racks. Because prior to that, when the holes were just 1 inch, they really were just put in at random places in the rack. So you could go from, you get two different, let's assume you find two 3x3 power racks. And they're both 1 inch holes. If they were made like in 1997 or 2000 or before, the holes won't line up necessarily. So with the 5/8, you started to get that precision. So you can kind of like, go from one rack to the next. You're like, okay, I know what I'm getting. But there was a lot. And all right, so PRX Performance is watching, and they heard you say we're off. So, all right, so Harrison gave you guys a shout out. They said, yeah, we're all 5/8 for now. So it's TK from PRX, and he said, ask Justin Kleckner about this topic when he's on in November. I will definitely ask him about it. But that's my big thing. And so if you didn't hear, Harrison mentioned that's one reason why he likes your company, because you guys are, making 5/8 attachments. Because that's really what happened. It's like, I think the big thing I was looking for was our rack was like a 90 something inch rack, and I couldn't find a rig step that was 5/8. And like something as simple as that, I couldn't find one. I was like, so it's like, yeah, I could jump up there, but my wife can't. She wants to be able to climb up and hang and do different things, right? And it's like, she can't get up there without stepping on. I mean, what's she gonna do? Step on a J hook? Step on a safety bar? It sounds like this is annoying. So that's when that was the big thing for me.
I haven't found many attachments that aren't available in 5/8 inch. So the step is an interesting one. My rack's only 90 inches, and I'm, a little bit taller than your wife. So I don't
there you go. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like, yeah. So you said you found one?
I have not. I don't have a need for that, but I've found monolift attachments. The Velocidor is 5/8 inch, so everything I could possibly need, I think, is already in 5/8 inch.
That makes sense. Okay.
Now we're starting to add UHMW to the inside to protect the rack, so that's good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that it's a big step forward, and I do agree with you in terms of the cost of 5/8 attachments being slightly lower because it's less metal. So I'm not anti 5/8. Again, it's just I was like, well, I need to have, this is a thing I need because my wife needs it, and it's a home gym for both of us. So
that's fair.
So Eric, okay. That's okay. That comment right there, Eric, that's between you and TK. I'm gonna let y'all I'm gonna let the two of y'all work that out. I hope that works out. Anyway, now that's hilarious. All right. Anyway, now let's talk about west side spacing. This will be the last question. Why is west side spacing so important to you guys? And when I say you guys, I'm like, why is it so important to people who don't bench press in a large group of equipped lifters of various strength levels and arm lengths? Like how does that help you?
Yeah, it's your home gym. Things should be dialed in exactly how you want them to be.
Okay.
You have that luxury of, it's not a commercial gym where tons of people are using the rack. So why not have it as customized to you as you can and have the optionality to go in 1 inch increments rather than 2 inch?
Okay.
If I'm trying to lift off and have a heavy bench press or squat or anything, I want it exactly at the height that I need it. So I'm excited. My next rack, I think, will be a custom one. Hopefully 5/8 inch all the way up, 1 inch hole spacing all the way up. So full west side, I guess.
Okay.
But we'll see if that comes together. It's super exciting and it looks awesome. I've teased some, tennis ball green rack color, still deciding, what color eventually I want to go.
What?
Oh, you
tennis ball green.
Yeah, it's like
that's a choice. Okay.
One. It was on my story a while ago, but F&F Steels, I've been chatting with them and they're happy to, make a rack with the west side hole spacing all the way up. I think it'll be nice to add additional, personalization for the rack. So we'll see.
Okay. So Eric is saying the thing that I'm talking about right there, right? So obviously, he's tall, he's got long arms, and he said west side isn't important for me because I'm at the top hole usually on west side spacing anyway, if he's bench pressing. And but what you said makes sense. It's like you want to just dial it in. It's for you, and you want to be able to come, different increments, whatever, precisely. So that's fine. That makes sense to me. I thought that was my last question, but I am now fascinated because I don't know what a poo boo bench is.
This is one of my.
I'm not sure if I should have asked that.
It's a cheap Amazon bench. I really wanted to be able to do decline bench without having to put a leg roller on, so that the back pad declines by itself. But also wanted, a wide pad, powerlifting-ish height, for when you're doing flat. And so I found this bench on Amazon that meets a lot of those specs. I put the Rep clean grip pads on it, and it's actually the bench I use most of the time for bench pressing. It's a cheap bench, but it works really well.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here so he sees it when so the Harrison sees it when he comes back. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. This is I knew when I asked him about the 5A Society, we were gonna get this very passionate series of responses from everybody who's an evangelist for whatever size hole they prefer. So Home Gym Hubs, Spencer said it's the most overrated hole spacing in his opinion.
West side?
The west side, west side spacing.
That's an opinion, yeah.
And I'd say, and Jared, that's interesting. Jared said, as far as west side, he said, I'm at the top for most pressing positions. So west side doesn't help much with J-cups, but it does allow him to dial spotter arms in more precisely.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, why not have the west side holes extend a little bit further up so you can, put your monolith or J-cups exactly where you want them?
I think it's, and that makes sense. Like, so when, it's kind of like when you're like, when I did my review of the Iron Bowl strength rack, which was our 5/8 rack, and I mentioned that the west side spacing, I was like, that's not really important. Most people don't, whatever. What I failed to take into account is people like Tim Stewart from Gym Crafter. Look at the length of his arms. Like, well, his arms are going to obviously be well past what would be the rack position for somebody like me. And so, he's going to come down to a different point. So west side spacing might be important for somebody like Tim. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I try to not to plant flags and have a hill to die on about anything, because as soon as you make like this declaration, you'll meet like that guy who's the exception, and you'll be like, oh yeah, well, okay, I guess that's true. You know what I mean? It's like, try not to ever say always or never, because you'll meet the exception the day after you say always or never. That's going to happen. That's the only constant, right?
Well, you are Garage Gym Life and not Home Gym Life, so maybe we'll change that at some point.
That's not going to happen. Did I explain that to you?
Of not changing it, or where it came from? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So my first home workout space was in my loft apartment. Okay, it's at the foot of my bed, had a wooden box, 270-pound dumbbells.
Wow.
My next home gym space was in a shed at a rental house. All right, so shed gym life would have been it had I started it there. It would have been loft bedroom gym life had I started it there. And then after that, we moved into our first home, which had a single car garage. And so most of the places where we've lived for the longest amount of time, where we've had a home gym, it's had a garage.
Mm-hmm.
And so we called it Garage Gym Life, because really we were just talking about our life, and we happen to have a garage.
Makes sense.
And then I was like, so it wasn't like a declarative statement about
you're not
like
picking which is better.
Yeah, I don't care. And in fact, I tell people, and actually we have a shirt that may still be in our merch store. It's a kettlebell, but it's called the Home Gym Mosaic, and it's got all of the different places you could have a home gym.
That's awesome.
So a spare bedroom, backyard, basement, barn, and to me and actually we tried to turn it into a banner, but then the interest in banners started to wane a little bit, and I didn't want to put the money into creating another banner that only one person would buy. And so I was like, I'm gonna have all these banners here, and I end up having to get rid of them. They'll be like Argentinian kids with my banners, and I won't make any money off of it. So anyway, Man, I'm glad you came on here. I appreciate you powering through. I know it's kind of annoying, like with the cutting out and everything else.
Oh
But I
no, not
appreciate you
your
being on
fault.
here.
Sorry about that.
Hey, that's okay. I wanna not let you go without making sure that people know how to get in touch with you. I kind of told people while you were out, but I want you to let them know how they can get in touch with you if they have a collab idea. We
Yeah.
are on LinkedIn, so if a brand wants to reach out to you or for whatever reason, let's make sure they know how to do that as well. So, how can people get in touch with you? And also, if they want to be notified the next time you have an event, Curltember, the Curlathon, if they want to be a curl tathlete, whatever. Let's go ahead and tell them that now. All right.
Yeah. My Instagram name is there, homegym_Harry. So feel free to follow me, DM me. Always happy to chat about home gym related content, interested in collabs or reviewing equipment. So feel free to reach out. You can also email me, homegymharry@protonmail.com. The Gmail wasn't available, so I had to go with something else. But those are probably the best ways to get in contact with me if you're interested. Always happy to chat. Thanks, Letha. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you being here, and I'll let you get on with the rest of your day. Thank you for all your support, though. Harry sends me a lot of DMs, and we go back and forth a fair amount, and I see how you interact with other people. So I really do appreciate that, and I 100% appreciate not just you, but everybody who shows up at the live chat, because the live chat is what sets this show apart from other shows.
Yeah, it's super fun.
It's I'm trying to build a community here, and so that doesn't happen if you guys aren't active in the live chat every Friday morning. So thank you, not just for getting up way too early today, but every other day, every other Friday. I appreciate you getting up way early.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. It was fun to be on despite the technical difficulties, but hopefully, if you'll have me back, I'll try and figure that one out.
You got an open invite, man. Open invite.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too.
All right. That was my guy, Home Gym Harry, Harrison Lands. Appreciate you guys. Check it out. Joey said Harry sends me a lot of DMs too. Makes me feel special every time. Y'all are savage. Y'all are merciless. Anyway, so that's it for today's show. Thank you to my guests, Letha Cannon and Home Gym Harry, for stopping by, making this one a success. Next week, we've got Mark Lupica from Brute Force Australia joining the show for the first time ever. And then Jason Benoit from Exponent Edge is going to be coming back to talk about his latest products. He's also going to give us the behind the scenes of how the ABX collaboration with Freak Athlete came about. So that's going to be another fun one. And we are also planning something special for Black Friday. So we're ramping up to that. So make sure that you guys are here that day as well. In any case, until next week, please keep on posting in the community section. Keep sharing our channel link to help us grow. We are on the march to 70,000 subscribers, and I can't get there without you guys. So keep on sharing that link. If you're watching right now, you have not subscribed, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for me, because that helps the show grow. It makes it easier for me to attract new guests to the show. So appreciate you guys, and thanks for powering through. All right, I'll see y'all next week.